Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out, procrastination, putting it off, kicking the can down the road. In, plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out, carpet in the bathroom. Like, why? In, knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Ely, Minnesota, a puddle of blood leads investigators to a frozen body and a complete mystery that unravels into something even stranger than they initially expected. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week on another crazy, wild, nutty edition of Small Town Murder. As always, we have got just an absolutely weird case, as usual, for you today. Hope you enjoyed last week, which was nuts, too, as you remember. It's been so weird lately, so hope you're enjoying all this craziness coming at you. If you are, you can tell the world about it. Get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon on your phone there, and give us 5 stars. We don't know why, but it helps. Yeah. We have no idea. It really does help drive you up the charts, so thank you for everyone that does that, and if you haven't, please do it. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. All sorts of merch up there, new stuff all the time, tickets to live shows, hopefully later in the year. We don't know. So get on there, check it all out.
Probably not.
Who knows? Maybe. Well, it's worth a shot. It feels good to hope.
Fucking world is nuts.
It feels good to hope. So get on there, check all of that out. Also, Patreon is going wild. Check out Patreon. We have been on a roll, and we're going to keep it going on a roll. Patreon is going strong, of course.
Yes, it is.
Of course it is. If you have been catching up, or if you haven't caught up, you want to catch up with this. Last time we did Old West Murders. That was a lot. Or I'm sorry, that's the next episode. Old West Murders, which are crazy.
They're
oh my
great.
God.
Yeah.
Think about that. It was just insanity going on back then. Just crazy stuff. And people were like, I don't know. Oh, well, very, very interesting stories there. A bunch of Old West Murders. And Love After Lockup was the last one. We got to talk about Love After Lockup.
It's the best show on TV.
Season 3. Oh, it's amazing. We got to really get mad at a lot of people for screwing up their lives, and we're so angry at them. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that, the back catalog, everything like that, and you get to be a producer. Jimmy will horribly mispronounce your name.
For sure.
Well, he tries his hardest to get it right, so that's a lot of fun. Get on that. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that, and you get access to all the crime and sports bonus and everything else there. So hope you've been enjoying all of that. Get on there. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And Jimmy will mispronounce your name at the end of the show when we read it out and praise you to the top of the hills, because you are a producer and you keep the show going, and we love you. And on top of that, if you just want to have good karma and also be a producer and get a shout out, you can do that over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Right.
So that said, I think we need to do the disclaimer quickly. Obviously, this is a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
It's a comedy show. The murders are real. I swear. It sounds crazy. We find crazy murders, so I could see you listening to it going, they're joking about that. No, that's the crazy part.
Right.
The crazy part is sometimes the comedy, we don't need to say a thing because it's just insane stuff happening. And obviously, the act of murder isn't funny. We're not sitting here going, he cut her. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Cut them into 12 pieces. So fun. That's not the funny part. That's the point. We are very respectful of stuff like that. You make jokes about all the stuff around a murder. Think about if you were like, we should kill that person. Right away, someone could take a step back and go, I think you should laugh at yourself because you're going off the rails here, buddy. So that's the way it is. We go out of our way not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
Yes, sir.
And that's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, you're in for a good time. If you think true crime and comedy should never go together and, just not at all, you don't want to hear any jokes if someone's ever been killed, then maybe we're not for you. Maybe it's not. But it might be. I think maybe you might be looking at it the wrong way. Either way, though, I think it's time right now to sit back, take a deep breath, clear the lungs, and shout, "Shut up and give me murder!" Let's do this, Jimmy.
All right.
Let's go on a trip.
Terrific.
Shall we? We are going up to it's cold up here, boy. We are going up to Minnesota.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. And northern Minnesota, too. This isn't like, Minneapolis suburbs or anything. This is Ely, Minnesota. Ely, Minnesota, I should say. Ely.
Like Robert E?
Yeah, Ely, like that, like you would say that. It's E-L-Y is how you spell it.
Yeah.
God forbid if you said it Ellie or something like that, I'm sure we'd get a lot of tweets like we did with Lino Lakes.
Right.
Trust me. So this is in northeastern Minnesota, all the way up by Canada, up in no man's land, because this is like a very north part of the United States. Like it's north of like Michigan and Wisconsin
last of our
and all
land.
that. It's Canada, basically. It's 4 hours to Minneapolis. That's how far north it is. 2 hours down to Duluth. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
The party center of Duluth, Minnesota, where all the crazy stuff happens.
A place that's so vanilla. The most famous thing there is plaid underwear. There's a company that just sells like Duluth Underwear Company, isn't it? Duluth Trading Company. It's just a bunch of plaid shit.
Oh, there you go. It's like farmer gear.
It's wild up there. Super wild.
Farmer gear. Shit that's warm. Keeps you warm outside. And it's about 4 hours and 15 minutes to Corcoran, which was our last Minnesota episode 188 back in September of 2020.
My word.
So, it's been a little while, 6 months or so. This is in St. Louis County.
Okay.
Odd. Okay. Area code 218. And the town motto is, there's not a lot of people here, but this is what they've chosen. You're not cold, are you? That's the town motto.
What are you, some kind of pussy?
Yeah, you're not cold, are you? It's only 12 below outside. Jesus Christ. Wait till tonight comes around. That's when it's cold.
Wait till winter shows up.
It's only August right now. Shit. So the history of this place here, the first Europeans to explore the area were fur traders. Only this is nowhere. No one said, we're going to go up there and live. People were like, I hear there's shit to kill and trade up there. I guess I can survive it.
Heard we can gut a hat up there. Yeah. Let's go there.
That's true. I really feel like I'd like to take many animals and make them into a garment of some kind.
I'd really like to gut a jacket.
I think I could do it. So they search. That's what they do. They go into the wilderness to search for shit to trade, furs. It was the Lake Vermilion Gold Rush, though, that brought the largest number of people here in 1865.
Okay.
So Civil War ended. There's furs, and now people hear there's gold.
Yeah.
1800s, whenever anybody heard there was gold, there was just people going from one spot to the next.
That's where we're going now.
How many towns have we heard of that was how they started, was initially people, quote, heard there was gold.
Right.
Not even there was definitely gold.
Right. Not confirmation.
No.
Heard about it.
Heard some gold was in this area. Pray tell.
Yeah.
Where's the gold?
I heard tell rumor of gold in them hills.
In them thar hills. So although hardly any gold was ever found, that's the thing. A bunch of people went there. Nope. One guy found a nugget once, and he's like, look what I found. And everybody ran. They're like, fuck, you got the only one. That's all there was. Somebody must have put that here. But
stick around and shoot a jacket.
They did end up finding large deposits of iron ore up there, which is not as good as gold, obviously. And you don't hear people excitedly yell, iron, I found iron. Oh, the main iron vein. But a lot of new immigrants were coming in at that time from Europe, a lot of German immigrants and things like that. So a lot of them came to this area looking for work in the mines, and it was called the Minnesota Iron Range at that time.
Yeah.
You know how cold it is? How'd you like to work in a mine?
Pulling iron out of the ground.
Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Iron ore, so it's just rocks of fucking iron.
This is rough, man.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Dense.
So Ely is a weird name. Wonder how it got it. I found in 2020, the Ely Echo put it this way. They wrote, quote, the name Ely stems from the Isle of Eels, a wetland near Cambridge, England. In historic times, those lakes swarmed with the slithery fish, eels obviously, that provided sustenance for ancestors of Samuel B. Ely. His clan arrived in the States from Ely, England in the 1600s. One ancestor was a close associate of George Washington, and Samuel, a mining executive, financed the railroad to Ely in 1888, which launched our town. So that's how this works. Yeah, it's named after a place that had so many fucking eels.
They ate them.
That they ate them, and then they they name shit after them. Now, the French eat eel a lot. They do. But I know
Japanese.
In like growing up, if you go fishing and you catch an eel, you cut the line. And you don't keep it.
God, no.
You just cut the line. You don't even get your lure is gone. Your hook is, you just cut it. That's, I remember, right in the Hudson River.
Seasick.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I caught one in the Hudson River, and my dad was like, holy shit, snip. There's that. Goodbye. It just snipped the line. I was like, all right.
Let that digest that. We don't need that thing.
Don't need that thing.
That is ugly and scary.
It was huge and gross and weird. I was like,
snakes, man. They're ugly.
It was disgusting. So that's how this town is based on something very gross. Enjoy. This town is also famous for hoaxes.
Oh
yeah. There are people from Ely, with the support of the city council, have created various hoaxes as a way of garnering free publicity for the city. This is why they do PR.
They are what?
Like, PR firms do weird shit to get PR. They really do. Like, I was just reading this book about this, the Rockstar game company that makes GTA and shit. In the beginning, they had this publicist who, without telling them they were doing this, started this website that was called like Fuck Rockstar. And it was like all these, mean, nasty things about disparaging. This was because in his mind, he had a big elaborate story that a programmer quit and then took this website to do this to get back at this was a PR guy's thing. And they ended up calling the police and all this shit and found out that it was that, it was crazy. So PR people are nuts. So this is what I mean. When you're trying for publicity, anything's possible.
But sightings of Bigfoot and the Loch Ness Monster.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Exactly.
You
That's
asshole.
what they do. And then they sell you a keychain.
Right.
You go there and you buy lunch and a keychain, and that's how they survive.
And we fix potholes.
That's it. So one hoax was that was of a fictional family that paints the leaves of trees every fall.
Everywhere?
Every fall.
Yeah.
Their fictional family was retiring from the business and wanted people to send in a color application if they wanted to help carry out the tradition. That was the thing. They were cashing out on their leaf painting.
These people go and change the colors from green to orange and red.
They change them. And so if anybody else would like to come in and get an application.
We got an opening or two.
Yeah. Previously, they put out a story about Ely seceding from the United States to be a part of Canada, because it's right by Canada. Yeah. So that was another thing to get them publicity. Both hoaxes were featured on the Chamber of Commerce website, Ely.org. Like a fucking .org was doing this.
Wow.
In 2009, they made an international, obviously joking around, a bid to host the 2016 Olympics.
Clever.
In Ely. They're really bored up in this town.
Yeah, they are.
I really hope everything's perfect in this town. I hope
somebody come visit.
I hope the roads are smooth.
Yeah.
I hope the kids have so many textbooks and school shit they don't know what they're doing. I hope it's just an embarrassment of riches up there if they have time to do this shit.
Be liars?
Dicks. They said in the bid that they had a man already employed with a bucket to drain Miners Lake south of town in order to provide stadium seating for the Olympics.
A guy with a bucket.
So that was their big joke. There's a guy with a bucket emptying it out. They probably had a picture of some
dick out there bailing,
like with waving with one hand, holding a bucket, shirtless with waders on.
Says you can do it, we can help on the side.
Yep. Oh, it was.
Yeah, it's a Home Depot bucket.
So the hoax became widely known through Minnesota, and it was reported, and it was like a big joke in radio stations, and they put out bumper stickers and shirts, and even a billboard bearing the slogan "Ely in 2016" became commonplace throughout the state. So this was like
Jesus.
That's what otherwise nobody would know who the hell they are.
I got news for you. I still don't.
Even though we've talked about them for 15 minutes, it's still hard, right? It's best known for being the entry point for the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. A lot of outdoor shit, a lot of lakes. It's beautiful around here.
Of course.
The International Wolf Center is here, and the North American Bear Center is also here.
Wolves and bears.
Wolves and bears. Lots of wolves and bears.
Come on through. We got a center for it all.
We got wolves and bears and hoaxes.
Yeah.
Have at it. Let's go. Also, Jessica Biel was born here.
Really?
Weird, right?
How about that?
How weird is that?
She moved and got herpes. Good for her.
I guess so. She's fucking out of here. It's better than living here, I think.
Suppose, yeah.
Reviews of this town. Found a few. We'll give you a couple here. Here's a 3-star. Spent a week in Ely, 8/17, I assume August 17, on guided canoe trip. Injured my hip on the trip. That's not the town's fault, sir. Had to do laundry at the end of the trip. Well, you didn't bring enough underwear. Again, like I said, you know how many underwear you need, right? Yeah. No handicap parking around the laundromat. Well, bastards. So I parked facing against the traffic to make it easier to get myself and the laundry out of the vehicle. While in the laundromat, while in the laundromat, I received a parking ticket. Okay. Described the above circumstances, but appeal was denied. I've now paid the $42 fine, but I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it.
I'll never see another Jessica Biel movie.
No, I'm not. It's her fault, too. I'm trying to convince myself the town of Ely needs the money more than I do, but I won't return. There are other gateways to the Boundary Waters.
Okay.
So he will not return because of a $42 parking fine because he didn't bring enough underwear for his injured hip. So here's a 2-star review. Quote, this town tries to rely on tourism way too much, and thus all the jobs are minimum wage. The town has nothing to offer other than the Boundary Waters. The taxes in this place is absurd, and they seem to be used in frivolous ways. Like putting out campaigns with fucking billboards to get the fucking Olympics. For a small town, that shit's expensive. Yeah. So, small town coffers don't have that kind of money. What are they spending money on in this fucking place?
Where are you going to put up the diplomats from foreign countries.
It's all
fucking
stupid.
Best Western.
All of your fucking hoaxes. Jesus Christ. The local government is just a bunch of good old boys stuck in the 1960s. The only people who do well in this town are resort owners and people lucky enough to have landed a mine job in Silver Bay or some other area mine.
Lucky enough.
Those are man, that's wild. Those are the people who do well.
Fuck.
That's well in this town is you get to be lowered into the ground. I understand it's a lot of places that's where the only good job is as far as you can support your family. But when you put the words lucky on someone who lowers themselves into the ground every day in a dangerous job, I don't know if lucky's the right term. They're happy to have a job, I'm sure, but they'd rather probably do something above ground, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know though. Maybe they're
or driving one of those giant ass trucks down into a huge pit that they're mining. That's a tough job, too.
Fuck yeah, that
is. They
is.
Carve those fucking roads into the side of those ledges.
Anything mining is nuts. It's wild.
Thank you.
It looks scary.
Yeah.
People in this town, population-wise, 3,425 people.
Okay.
So it's pretty small up there and down 14% since 1990.
And they want the Olympics.
Get the Olympics. They're obviously kidding, but still, shut up about it. More males than females, and that's a lot of due to the mining, and all the jobs here are either tourism related or they're like some crazy outdoor Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, heavy lifting something or other.
Yeah, mining, lifting, lumber, that sort of shit, agriculture, or forestry, that sort of shit. Median age here, older too. It's almost 47 here, which is about 10 years older than the norm. All the demographics over 55 are high. All the demographics under the age of 55 are all low. So it's a lot of old people. People stay here and die here. Not really a place where, you know, like you would have, you're 32 and you got like a couple and they have a couple of kids and they go, let's move to Ely.
Yeah.
That's going to be there's nothing
setting
there
out
for
on your
them.
own, starting out now.
Yeah.
Going to land in Ely.
It's just not going to happen unless you need a mining job and that's where you got one. So married population's about normal. It's almost 50-50 still, but there are less single people with no children. Only 5%. So if you're going out to the bars looking for some fellow no children single people, good luck with you. Race of this town, 97.6% white.
Really?
That is pretty fucking white.
Steaming white.
0.6% black. And they know that because even if the black people didn't want to be seen, they're just in the snow.
Yeah.
So they're like, there, we got one there and one here. And
got 'em.
got them because everything is just bright white there, I assume. 0.4% Asian. Not a lot there either. It is 0.5% Hispanic. Wow. It's just a lot of white people. 47% of the people here are religious because there is no God underground, everybody.
Yeah.
We know that. But then the lakes are beautiful there, though. Now, 47% religious. It's a good mix of, there's some Catholics, some Lutherans, a Methodist here and there. You got a couple of Presbyterians, not many Mormons, 0.3% Jewish. So not going to get a Havana Gila this week out of that. But 0.2% Islam, too.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's funny to move to the middle of the snow. Now, unemployment rate in this town is a little bit higher than normal. It kind of ebbs and flows.
Seasonal work, yeah.
Seasonal work is a thing here. The median income is low here, though. The rest of the country, it's $57,652. Here it is $36,179.
Much lower.
Pretty low for household income. Most of the households make under $50,000 a year. A lot of the jobs are tourism related, food services, accommodations. That's, you work at a hotel. Yeah. You sell fucking knickknacks.
Right. You
know how that is. You sell shit with like wood on it.
Right.
Because because it's the woods. I picture this like the great outdoors.
Yeah.
Town almost, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like just a lot of trees and a lake.
Teenagers kissing on a veranda.
Yeah,
like
pool
that.
Cues going into crotches. You know how it works.
Absolutely.
So, cost of living in this town.
She had some torque in those hips. She spun.
She thung that thing went across the bar.
Than Olympic javelin throwers.
Oh, she could have killed somebody with that thing. Yeah, could have went
the bouncer.
Something, and nobody even questioned that. No, nobody came over. Is everything all right? Nope. Cost of living in this town is about 80. 100 is regular par. Housing is low, though. It's a 51.
Yeah.
And the median home cost here is $118,900.
Very affordable.
So very affordable. They said the taxes were expensive, but, I mean, your house costs nothing. So what do you want? You got to pay for something.
They gave you a home.
Yeah. I mean, I get that you don't care about the Olympics, but come on. Around half the houses here are worth under $100,000. So that's
they got to be tiny though, right?
I mean, that's the thing. They're some of them are big and on bigger property, and some of them are these tiny, like little kind of thing. Well, you know what? Let's find out.
All right.
With for you, the Ely, Minnesota Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for about $770, which is about $500 below the national average. That's not bad at all. Pretty good. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,176 square foot. It's a tiny little house with a tiny little yard, and there's another tiny little house with a tiny little yard right next to it. They're little tiny houses in a row here, but they're nice. They're clean, little nice houses. $103,000.
Word.
So I mean, that's not bad.
Very cool.
Little house, especially if you're retired or something. That's perfect. Found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,771 square foot.
Now you're talking.
It's not so nice as that one though. It's a little run down.
Okay.
It's not quite as upkept.
Just bigger.
But it's bigger. $135,000.
Okay.
A little work that would be fine.
Sure.
Then I found this shit.
Yeah.
3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,600 square feet. Wow. Beautiful. This is a picture. Look at what it backs up to.
Holy
That's your backyard.
shit.
A big, giant, beautiful fucking lake.
Is that
surrounded by beautiful trees?
Is that the waters, James?
Is
that the boundaries?
I don't know if that's the boundary.
You're looking out at 2 islands. It's for fuck's sake.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like on this dirt road, and then you back up to the lake.
Somebody just painted the trees. It's beautiful.
They freshly painted trees. Over an acre of land too. So no one can live right on top of you. $950,000.
Hell yeah.
So if you want to live. You're
great.
on the lake, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's expensive, obviously, but you're going to... What do you want?
That's how I want to retire.
Oh, right there is beautiful. That'd be an amazing place to retire.
That's how I want to quit all of you.
Oh, all of it, damn it. You're all going down. Things to do. First of all, just outdoor shit and canoeing. This is an outdoor easy type of place. They have a winter festival, a winter celebration that's there to celebrate winter, where they have ice carvings and shit like that.
Oh, God.
They love the freezing cold up there.
Just shiver all day.
Another thing they have, I just love the name of it. It's the Harvest Moon Festival, which reminds me of the Feast of the Hunter's Moon.
Right.
Anything with a moon in it, I'm into that festival. I want to find out more about it.
And that's in fall?
That's in autumn, and Ely also brings the Harvest Moon Festival, which takes place the first weekend after Labor Day. This is a 3-day, it's still summer in Phoenix. They consider that... I get it in the
it's
rest
12
of the,
degrees there.
Yeah. Here, it's like, well, we hope it gets under 110 in the next month and a half. Yeah. Literally, that's what we're worried about. It's a 3-day festival filled with arts, crafts, food, live entertainment, and activities to share with the family and friends of all ages. Bring your old folks down here. Over 10,000 people join us. Holy shit.
Wow.
To enjoy this beautiful fall weather. That's 3 times the downside.
Right, they're outsourcing it.
Wow. Shop a delightful mix of original arts and crafts from over 125 local and regional artists and craftsmen. Select from functional and decorative pottery. Functional, I guess, if you could use like a pot, I guess, like pottery. Hand-turned wooden bowls, beadwork, paintings, leather, and lots more. This sounds like shit.
Yeah, this is hippie stuff.
This sounds like
weird,
old people leather,
weird
though.
Hippie,
like old men that...
Right. A guy that like will stamp your name in your belt.
Yeah, like a big beard and some overalls making shit out of leather. That's what I feel like that this is. Like a feed company hat on.
It's like Jerome, but like if these people were like, I'm just going to do this for my job. Like
that's exactly. Replace hippies for farmers, and that's what you got here, I think, is how this is. There will be pony rides and a petting zoo for children and family entertainment by the All-American Stunt Dog Challenge. They're bringing in stunt dogs, dogs that do tricks.
The touring.
That's the entertainment. Holy shit.
They're doing like stupid human tricks.
Well, yeah, except with dogs.
Right.
Stupid dog tricks.
Right.
So enjoy live music every day with Timmy House, Haus.
Yeah.
House. The singing Slovenes, the singing Slovenes.
Oh my
God.
If you can handle how they talk,
wow,
stick around for how they sing.
This is rough.
It's gonna be the most aggressive form of the 4th of July you've ever heard.
That's fucking wild. You're sure to find that perfect piece of art for your home or that unique gift for someone special. City ordinance does not allow dogs in the park.
Yeah.
So how the fuck are you going to have a stunt show? How are you going to have a dog stunt show if there's no goddamn dogs allowed in the park?
You can bring them in, but I can't bring my fucking schnauzer.
I can't bring my dog, but you can bring a whole team of dogs, right. I assume leashless, to jump around and do things.
They're going to backflip shit all over this place, but I can't bring my schnauzer.
No, bullshit.
Unbelievable.
Another one is the Dorothy Moulter Museum. That's what this looks like.
Oh, what does she do?
That's a museum.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cabin. Barely.
Kind of still.
It's sort of like it looks like a large enclosed porch.
It could use some Thompsons.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But today, the Dorothy Moulter Cabin and Museum are located there, known as the Root Beer Lady.
Oh.
She lived for 56 years on Knife Lake in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness. Gradually, she gained national prominence and extensive coverage in media, books, and documentaries over the years as people stopped here to drink her homemade root beer.
Okay.
She makes root beer in that shithole.
Gross.
She first visited her home on Knife Lake in 1930, and blah, blah, blah. The Isle Pines Resort was typical of many Northwoods resort. I want to know more about root beer. That's what I want to know about.
Do you drink root beer past, I don't know, age 12?
I mean, with ice cream, root beer float.
I suppose.
I need caffeine.
Who sits around and drinks root beer?
We got to stop at that lady's enclosed front porch because she makes root beer on her stove and I need to get some of that. Like, that's a weird thing to stop and want, right?
Is it carbonated or is it just some flat shit she makes?
Otherwise, it would just be like tar.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You could syrup.
I'm just going to go pour. You got a crack out in your driveway. I'm going to go fill that in quick and let it dry. So this is.
Spray some on your house, lady. It needs oil.
Ah, there you go.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah,
it's a smidge dry.
She sell it. Looks like coffee.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't. Oh, it's really sweet. Gross. So they have a museum now for her. Great.
Perfect.
The crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, the property crime is about 1/3 higher than the national average. Really? Actually, a lot of tourists and shit like that. So, and a lot also too. There's a lot of minors, and you're going to get some drunk nights and some public urination, I'm sure, and things like that. But violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is less than half the national average, under half. So
Very safe.
It's a safe place, but somebody might pee on something.
You lose a thing or something.
Tourists, you figure that parking tickets outside the laundromat, that's all going to factor in here. That said, this safe, damn near Canadian town up here, let's talk about a murder.
Great.
Let's do it. Okay. March 14th, 1975. Mm-hmm. Let's go back to then. 1975 in Ely, Minnesota.
Boy, oh boy.
Oh, baby. This is some wild times. Like, I can't imagine, I feel like the 70s wouldn't have really infiltrated here very much.
No.
I don't picture a lot of Saturday Night Fever looking motherfuckers walking around Ely in March of 75.
Disco era.
Yeah, just come out of the mine and put your platforms on. I don't see it happening.
Your butterfly collar and your bell bottoms.
Am I crazy?
Get your chest hair out.
I figure this is still a very flannel, Carharty kind of place.
Probably.
Right?
It's maybe some thinner Dickies if you're not so inclined.
Polyester doesn't seem warm.
No,
that's the thing.
No.
So I don't think you could really. It probably never spread much to Minnesota.
A lot of lined. Whatever the product is, the word lined is in it.
Fur-lined, polyester.
Duck-lined.
Bell-bottom disco pants. That would be amazing. That would be something. They probably had that there.
You roll up the sleeves and it's got the plaid underneath.
Furry plaid.
Yeah.
They dance together. What's up? I don't picture that.
Lined comes in everything that they wear.
Yes. I don't imagine. I feel like the 70s, they'd just be watching the rest of the 70s going, Jesus, the world's going crazy. The hell's wrong with those people out there?
Wearing such little amounts of clothing. That's thin. They're going to freeze to death.
They're going to freeze.
One of them's getting frostbite.
Well, that happens anyway. Have to pay. You're going to get frostbite every once in a while when you live up here. Now, let's talk about this date, March 14th, 1975. It's still very, very, very cold up there, by the way, in March and early March. Sure. That's still winter there. There's a car in a parking lot. It's a gold Plymouth Duster.
Yeah.
It's a Duster,
What
baby.
year is it?
I don't know on the year. It's like a, late 60s, early 70s, beat-up Duster.
Yeah.
It's a Duster. And we talked about my friend had the Duster, and
I lived in one.
He would bash it into garbage cans because it was such a pile of shit, and it had a hole in the back floor that people would pee out of. So there was that. So
my mom's was about 13 years old, and the ductwork for the heater was falling out of the bottom of the dash, and that elephant dick tube that it's like accordion, and it had holes all in it. So the vents, whenever you turn the air or the heat on, it didn't come out of there. It came out.
It's kind of leaked out everywhere.
Came out of the broken vents, the tubing. So you had to snuggle into the floorboard and rub your hands together
up against the tubing. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
That's my house.
His had the liner all fell.
In the roof?
In
Fuck
the roof.
yeah.
That all
liner
fell.
never sticks together.
So we just used to set it on fire from time to time, so like a blue flame would spread across the car. That's
across the phone?
Yeah. Set your car on fire right after I bash it into this mailbox, and why don't you piss out of the hole in the back, and you're going to snuggle up to the heater on the floor. What a pile of shit these cars were.
Garbage cars. And not a one of them was painted a decent color.
Gold,
neon fucking blue. My mom's was neon yellow or green.
I want to say my buddy's was brown, I think, or something.
Mopar and
it was
colors,
fucking
man.
rusty and primer, so I don't think it mattered at that point.
It's a Duster.
It's a Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Piece of shit. So this car was parked in the Co-op store parking lot.
Yeah.
I assume that's just like a regular kind of a...
The water company? Co-op?
No, the Co-op. It's like the general store kind of a deal here. This is in Ely, Minnesota. Right there. It's parked there in the morning. It apparently had been in this spot since March 9th.
Since it broke down on March 9th?
Yeah, right, since it died there and people are snuggled up around the heater. It died as on March 9th, 1975. Since about 10 or 10:30 in the morning is the first time it was seen there, and it's been there ever since.
Yeah.
So 5 days sitting out there is just, a couple days, somebody got dropped off or whatever, but 5 days you're like, all right, when the fuck is this car gonna go away? All the car's doors are locked, so it's not like you can get in and
somebody left it.
Look around. So eventually the police are called, and when they get there to just see what the fuck's going on, the cops, first thing they notice before they even get inside the car is they notice something beneath the trunk of the car. And they're like, oh, looks like it's dripping something, but not in a place where oil would be.
Yeah.
It's instead a puddle of frozen blood underneath the trunk of the car area that they find on the ground. So they're like, oh, boy, we should probably get inside this car. And see what's...
yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you just see the car, the doors are locked, you go, I don't know, do you want it towed or not?
Yeah.
Yes, the owner, if you want it towed, and if they do, then they'll tow it. Otherwise, I don't know what you want from me.
It's bleeding, so we should take it.
If it's bleeding, we're going to take a look inside and make sure and see what the hell's going on here. Why is this guy? There's a duster bleeding in the parking lot.
We got questions for this car.
We got to ask this car a couple questions. Either we have another problem or this car's in terrible shape and someone's done something very bad to it. Either way.
Or it's a GoBot that needs a fixin'.
Are you a transformer? What can I do to make you turn into a robot?
Are you Bumblebee?
Can I help you? Do you need a paint job? What was that other one? I can't remember. I was thinking of an old actual Transformer. Anyway.
It was gold. It's got to be Bumblebee.
I'm sure. Yeah. No, there was another one that was like, it wasn't Bumblebee. It was another guy who was a car. And it was like a kind of a shittier, lower level Transformer. So all the doors are locked. They notice the blood dripping. So they go in the car and nothing is in the car. They pop the trunk. Different story there. Yeah. They find a young man in the trunk.
Yep.
Not alive, obviously. That'd be a strange place to camp for 5 days in a freezing trunk where there's blood dripping out of you.
Right.
It's a guy named Jeffrey Getters. Goedderz. Getters is how it's pronounced. He's 19 years old, Jeff, and he is very much deceased in the trunk of this car. There is almost no blood left in his body.
It's all in the trunk.
It's all in the trunk and on the ground and somewhere else, too. That's the other thing. It's not all in the trunk. It's not all on the ground. All the blood that he should have had that he no longer does.
Yep.
So there must be blood somewhere else. So, they find him there. He, like I said, in bad shape. We'll get to the autopsy in a moment. His wallet is not missing. He's still got his wallet in his back pocket, which is strange.
Yeah.
And they do a little research here by going into the glove compartment and finding the registration and find out this is his car.
Okay.
So he is stuffed into the trunk of his own car with no blood left in his body. Strange.
Yeah.
Not the thing you'd expect to find in the Co-op parking lot here. So they do an autopsy, obviously. The autopsy reveals that the cause of death is blood loss from multiple wounds. There's a wound 2 3/4 inches long on each side of his head.
Oh.
Think about that, which fractured the skull and bruised the brain.
Wow.
That's like
Did the car eat him?
2 3/4, like on each side.
Yeah.
Like like a hatchet.
Oh no.
That length of a thing, both sides of the head. A massive gaping wound, which went from the back of the neck around to the right side, cut the muscles of the neck down to the backbone, cut the mastoid bone and the skull, and penetrated the brain.
My word.
Think about that. What a violent...
Yeah.
How the force you would have to have That's like trying to decapitate somebody.
Yeah.
That's like a failed guillotining.
It's a rage-filled murder.
That seems like somebody with a, like a broadsword coming at you. Like
focused on the head and neck area.
It's wild. The police or the pathologists believe the wounds were caused by a sharp weapon with considerable force. No shit.
Great call.
Yeah, good call.
Did you go to college
wow,
for that?
You're a doctor, right? We got that one.
Sweet Jesus.
There were also large cuts on the left side of the face and neck. I think pretty soon they're going to say it's not a suicide. They're going to classify it as a homicide. Really blow our minds here with their expertise. There are large cuts on the left side of the face and neck, one of which broke the jawbone in 2 teeth with a cut.
Ouch.
That's the force of these blade attacks here. That's wow. In the opinion of the pathologist, the wounds were probably caused by a double-edged knife applied with great force. In addition, various lacerations, bruises, cuts were found, which, according to the pathologist, were incurred while Getters was trying to defend himself from the attack. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot here. The pathologist calls this a defensive wound. Getters' left thumb was missing.
Oh, no.
Just gone. They never found his thumb.
Really?
It's not in the trunk with him. It wasn't like in his pocket or something, or, stuffed in his shirt pocket. It was
taken.
Just not around. So thumb is missing and sliced off like it was a defensive wound. Came off. If somebody with like a sword was attacking you, you would maybe lose your thumb like that. Hair stuck to the hand indicated that Getters probably had his hand to his head trying to ward off the blows because his hand was like stuck to his head with blood. And
holy fuck, man.
Yeah, when they found him too, he was frozen solid.
Really?
He was fucking frozen. It was they had to thaw him out like Frankie Carbone and Goodfellas to give him a goddamn autopsy.
March in Minnesota.
Yeah, it was for 5 days in a trunk, frozen solid. He said Getters had been alive when he was placed in the trunk.
That's fucked up.
That's fucked up. So not only did all of these horrible things happen, he had survived this vicious attack and then was stuffed into a trunk and left there to bleed out and die and freeze to death. I mean, that's bad, man.
Does it get worse?
Yeah. Based on the stomach contents, the pathologist testified that Getters could have died any time between, and this guy has, I really find it hard to, if a pathologist said this exact amount of thing between the blood loss and the freezing, I would say you're full of shit and you guessed that, because pathologists will tell you like, it's a time of death is, unless the conditions are 68 degrees and this and that, then we can tell exactly. If you add in warm spot for a while, then frozen, that we have no fucking idea.
Throw in some rain
outside, decomposition. Is it hot? Did it go faster? They go by bug growth. You can tell a certain amount by that, but what if they were frozen first and now they're not? And now it's who knows? So to say they died between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m. on March 9th. To put it within 6 hours.
Specific.
For days before. And then he says there's an 85% probability that he died before 8 a.m. on that day. So between 4 and 10, but most likely between 4 and 8.
If my calculations are off, they may have been between 8 and 10. But I think...
Or the next day, because he's frozen goddamn solid. Right. So when someone's frozen solid, you can't...
How is a pathologist in a week's time giving a better window of time of death as the cable company when they arrive?
Of anybody when they fucking arrive.
Unbelievable.
This is... I'm sorry, based on the stomach contents, I get it that they go by the digestion and the thing, but... he's frozen solid, man.
Yeah.
There's no way you're putting it. The Iceman used to freeze people solid on purpose
because it would 6 months
because it would mess up the time of death. So you don't know when it. I don't know. Whatever. You can't. There's no insect growth. There's no like maggots, so you can't tell by that. There's no anything here. The pathologist concluded that 2 weapons were probably used here: a double-edged knife and an instrument with a broad, flat blade that can make 2 3/4 inch lacerations that can penetrate your skull,
like a mace,
or like a hatchet, like an axe, like that sort of thing, a big sword, something of that nature. So who is this young man, Jeff Getters? Let's find out who he is and where he's from. Jeffrey Gulford Getters is his name.
Is it Jeffrey with a G?
Jeffrey with a J,
okay.
Which is strange because he's got double G past that. Didn't want to be triple G, I guess, his parents. They were kind to him.
Yep.
He's born March 8th, 1956. He's got a little brother, Jay, and an older sister, Rose. Rose is the reason why he's in this area. Rose had moved to the Ely area with her husband, and, Jeffrey's 19. And where he was, there wasn't a lot going on, so he heard there was jobs in the mines up there. Mm-hmm. So he said, I'll go hang out up there, and I'll stay with my sister and hang out. So that's what he does. He moves
Slavic
up.
chicks and shit like that.
Yeah, there's all sorts of Swedish chicks. They pull out of mines. You know how it works. And he's also got at least 2 older brothers that I can figure out here. His dad, Stan, is a miner. Stan the miner.
Yeah.
And his mom, Katie's a homemaker.
Of course.
Katie and Stan, a homemaker and a miner. There, it's,
salt of the earth, babe.
It sounds like he came back from World War II,
Yeah.
Got a job in a mine, and started plowing away and making as many kids as he could.
Fuck.
That's what it sounds like. Jeff and Jay were close. Jay's his younger brother by a few years, but they were close. They hunted and fished in the woods and did all that kind of shit together. They hung out, rode snowmobiles, and kind of had that kind of life.
So rad.
Yeah, they had a fun. That sounds like a fun life, fun teenage life. Hunting and fishing and snowmobiling and motorcycles and shit and dirt bikes. That's cool. This is, I don't know how this came about. This is incongruous, I think, here. They hunted and fished together in the woods near their house, rode snowmobiles and motorcycles. They also modeled shorts and fashion shows on the stage at the local theater.
Oh, that's weird.
Why? Is it like a school thing?
It's a
like an in-betweener, some sort of charity event? They were doing a school fashion show?
Trying to get the girls, accentuate the balls.
That's so weird. Shorts? It's 1973 in Minnesota. What are you putting shorts on?
And those are short shorts.
That's what I mean. Those aren't like
73 shorts?
Yeah,
oh, boy.
Your ball's going to come out like in the in-betweeners. Again, it's a
lot of breeze on the nuts.
That's a lot of nut breeze, I got to say. So anyway, they modeled shorts. They spent their summers together up in this area visiting their sister, Rose. They'd come up there for the summer, do all this shit outdoors in the woods. And then Jeff graduated from high school and said, fuck yeah, I'm moving to Ely so I can become a taconite miner. Taconite. It's spelled Taconite. Taconite. He's mining taconite. That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I want to do. Everybody, is there a job out there I can have in a taconite mine? Because that sounds wonderful.
What does taconite go on?
It's a supreme vein.
Yeah.
There's tomatoes in here. This is great. Oh, there's sour cream. This is
I
wonderful.
went too deep. There's sour cream everywhere.
I hit the sour cream vein, and now it's over. Oh, Jesus Christ. Watch out. Here we go.
Taconite. What does it go on?
It's pouring out.
What does that rock go? It's got to be a rock, right?
Taconite. I guess they're pulling it from the ground. They're mining it. So
I don't know, but it's delicious.
I've never heard of taconite, but it sounds amazing. I really just it sounds like you come up every day going, man, how was work today? Delicious.
It smelled amazing.
It was so good. I'm telling you, it was great. I had so many tacos. So on his 19th birthday, which was March 8th, 1975, Jeffrey was going to go out and party and do some stuff. Rose and her husband gave him a birthday present.
All right.
They gave him a bottle of banana liqueur.
What?
Gross.
99 bananas.
Banana liqueur,
Gross.
like banana schnapps or something.
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting. That's Larry Sanders with Hank.
Bottom of the rung booze. What did Hank do?
Hank was on the couch crying, and he was drinking. It was the only thing in his
banana
office.
Liqueur.
He's drinking banana liqueur, and his assistant comes in, and he's like, "Oh my God, Hank, what are you doing? What are you drinking?" And he goes, "It's banana liqueur." He goes, "My breath smells like a monkey's asshole." Starts crying. He starts sobbing. My breath smells like a monkey's asshole. I love Jeffrey Tambor. Anyway,
he's fantastic.
So at the end of the night, his breath smelled like a monkey's asshole. That we know for
that is confirmed.
That's a confirmed fact.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Here you go. Banana liqueur.
Gross.
Why would someone drink that? That's his drink of choice.
It's because he's 19. He's not 21.
He doesn't know any better.
No.
Yeah, but 19, that's drinking age was 18 back then.
In the 70s, really?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, this was especially, I think,
they could have given him whiskey and they gave him that?
They gave him banana liqueur.
God damn it.
Think about that. Here you go, sonny boy. He works in the mines. He's a drink. You're old enough to work in the mines. Yeah. You drink, but not banana liqueur.
Don't drink that down with the fellas that work in the mines.
I was going to say, if you brought that around your miner friends, I feel like in the 70s, I feel like they'd go, well, la-dee-da, banana liqueur.
They're going to pants you and drag you assless through the fucking snow.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. What part of San Francisco you buy that bottle of banana liqueur in? Did it come with a big purple dildo or what? Came in a box. You get banana liqueur and a dildo.
Did you get that from your boyfriend or did you buy it for him?
Which one?
Right.
Did he give it to you or did you give it to him? Which one is it? You know, in the 70s, these miners would not have been very progressive at all, I can't imagine.
And it's disgusting. It's not good stuff.
Banana liqueur. Any kind of liqueur is terrible.
Banana. Extra gross.
What does that mean? Why is it liqueur instead of liquor? Does that just mean it's more sugar than it's supposed to be?
Probably. It also means it's for women.
Well, back then, was that what it was?
Maybe.
Or is it?
It's a mixer of some sort.
A mixer, or was it like for a specific thing?
I don't know.
Like, did you have it like after a meal? You wanted it to taste like bananas for the rest of the night? I don't know what your
99 Bananas is one of the worst things ever made.
I've never had that. What is that?
Well, it's that. It's banana liqueur.
Oh, it's a banana liqueur.
I'll buy you a little shot of it.
I am not.
The next time I come over.
I'll smell it.
Because it's like 12 cents. They almost give it away. Did you buy a Pepsi? That comes with a 99 Bananas.
It comes with that. And a purple dildo. There you go. You want one of the spinny? It's a spinny one on the end there. You're going to take some double A's.
And the gay fella in the back wants to give you his number.
He said, he said you're going to like him. He
likes that stuff
man.
too.
Feller is how they'd name him. The gay feller.
He says he'll drink it with you.
He said, come on back here and bring your liqueur. And also that purple dildo.
He will put that shot in his mouth and then spit it back into yours.
Oh, it's going to be sexy. That's what I feel like these guys would be like.
Absolutely.
Back then. They would make fun of his liqueur, but apparently he didn't care, and he drank it that night.
Ooh.
Man, 19th birthday. Woo, banana liqueur, glug, glug, glug.
You're going to wake up and hate yourself.
Imagine the banana liqueur hangover, what that's like.
No.
Imagine the taste in your mouth from banana liqueur vomit. Think about that.
No.
The taste.
It's so sweet.
Banana vomit.
Like, so sweet.
I threw up, but I taste like...
I taste like a monkey's asshole.
Oh, that's the nastiest. That would be the worst.
Yeah.
I can't tell. I was going to say, I don't know if it would be better to have like a fruity taste to your vomit, but I don't think so.
No.
I don't think you want it.
No.
Because the worst thing that ever happened to me one time is I threw up after I ate Lucky Charms.
Oh, no.
I forgot. It was like a couple hours earlier, and I threw up, and I thought I was dying because I had like this rainbow-colored throw up. I was, oh, my God, what the fuck is wrong with me? And then I went, I ate Lucky Charms.
That's right.
Okay. It really scared me, though. I thought I had a real problem. I was like, it's every color of the rainbow.
Oh, my God.
There's pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, and green clovers. Help me.
I used to do shots of SoCo and lime, and that's the worst thing you'll ever throw up.
Ooh. It's Bernie on the way everywhere.
It tastes like stomach acid going down.
Yeah.
And it gets worse when it comes back.
It tastes like bile.
It's so bad.
It's not good.
It's a very terrible memory. I enjoyed it.
Why?
I don't know.
What's wrong with you?
James,
no wonder why you used to get thrown out of places all the time. You're drinking fucking Southern Comfort and lime.
I was a problem.
Psychopath. What is wrong with you, Jimmy? I'm
telling you, I would love to go back and beat the shit out of 21-year-old me. At least,
at the
latest. Maybe 23. 23 and younger could have used a good ass whipping from like future me. Anybody else, I wouldn't have given a fuck.
Future you. You need to come back and be like, I've come from the future.
I promise you, don't do this.
Don't do this. But if you do it, then everything will work out fine. But you'll be miserable now.
Yeah.
And you might need this for then. So never mind. Keep doing it.
That's going to taste bad in a few hours.
So you have the opposite approach. And my approach is always, if I could go back, I'd go, do less.
Yeah.
Be even more. It doesn't matter. Nothing you're doing here is going to accomplish you anything. You will do nothing that matters to yourself or your anything until you're like in your late 30s. So fuck off all you want now. That's what I would have told myself. Stop trying. Stop it. Survive for now. Get to your 30s, and then you'll start doing better. But until then, it's going to be a mess.
Right.
It's going to be you're going to hate everything. Enjoy.
And don't marry her.
Don't marry her.
That's what I would have said.
And try to do more drugs because it's going to help your sanity. Trust me. So, banana liqueur pulled out of the taco night mine. There you go. She said that he drank it that night. Now, let's introduce you to somebody else.
Yeah.
Roy Eric Wahlberg. Like Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg, Donnie Wahlberg, same spelling.
Roy?
Roy. That's the next words out of my mouth, too. Roy Eric Wahlberg. That's amazing, by the way. Recently, Goldie Hawn got a dog and named it Roy.
So evidently,
fucking amazing.
It's her favorite line, too.
Is it really?
It has to be.
It's fucking hilarious.
There's no way that it's not.
It's the greatest delivery. That's one of those things where you, like, as a fan, whatever, you would never bring that up to somebody because they go, I don't even remember that line.
Right.
But it's the funniest line in that movie.
Evidently, it's got to be her favorite thing she's ever said.
The look on her face is so like, oh, yeah?
She sizes him up and everything.
Roy. Obviously, it's Roy. I don't know, though, and I don't care at the same time. So anyway, Roy. Roy's mom's name, oh, my God, this is bad. His name, Roy Eric Wahlberg. That sounds fine. His mom's name, Myrtle Kangas.
Hell yeah.
Myrtle Kangas.
Jesus.
Old Myrtle here. Myrtle, Roy's a young child compared to his other siblings. Okay. He's got two older sisters, Judy and Joan, who were 12 and 9 when he was born. Okay. So he's
an oops.
He's the baby, yeah. And, obviously by the time he's 10 years old, they'll both be out of the house. Yeah. So it's one of those. One woman here says that this is Roy's mother's girlfriend, or girlfriend's mother's girlfriend. Okay. Girlfriend's mother.
Roy's girlfriend's mother.
Roy's girlfriend's brother. Roy is 23 at this time. Okay. He's a few years older than Jeff here. She says, the quote, his sisters told Roxanne, which is Roy's girlfriend at the time, that when Roy was born, it was like they didn't exist anymore. Yeah. So the mother got a boy. She had two girls. Then she had this boy, and she just doted on him and gave all her attention to him and kind of ignored the daughters, at least according from their point of view. They said that mother would lavish attention on him so much, and Roy Sr., because he's a junior, this guy, which we know from Crime and Sports could be a problem.
Terrible.
Roy Sr. kept his hands out of it. He didn't even bother trying to fight the whole thing because he was like, Myrtle wouldn't let Roy have any discipline. You leave that boy alone. And he was like, fine, he's yours. I don't fucking care.
He's got my name. That's all I give a shit about.
That's it. He said, and later Roy will say, quote, poach deer, spear walleyes, and shoot deer out of season. That's all my dad taught me. Okay.
Shoot deer out of season.
Out of season. Yeah.
Illegal game.
Oh, illegal game. Yeah, absolutely. I guess they live in the woods. So he's like, I guess that's kind of a little knock on his dad, trying to say his dad was kind of not up and up completely here. Now his girlfriend's mother will say he had a problem at home. His dad never did nothing to reprimand him or anything. His dad never did do nothing to reprimand him or nothing. I'll tell you what.
Or nothing. Oh, boy.
One time, Roxanne went out to his house with him. That's his girlfriend. I don't know what he had done, but his mother kept a hollering to his father, get the belt, get the belt.
Oh, boy.
That's what she said.
Oh, no.
Kept a hollering. That's what she says. Kept hollering to the father, get the belt, get the belt.
Okay.
But the father didn't budge. He didn't do nothing. She went and she got the belt and she started hitting him in front of Roxanne, who was standing by the door. Well, anyway, then I suppose he was very embarrassed. So he got up and he went into the bedroom and he came out with a gun and he calmly told his mother he was going to kill her. He did this in front of his girlfriend. Yeah. Okay.
Well, first he got his ass kicked in front of his girlfriend.
Yeah. Let's just go over this scenario very quickly here again, just to back it up without a character voice or anything like that. His mom was mad at him for something, told his dad to get the belt. His dad didn't do it, so his mom got a belt, started hitting him. This is while he's a teenager, and he's like got a girlfriend and all that, 20 years old or something. He goes in his room to get a gun to tell his mother, I'm going to kill you.
While dad still
hasn't moved, and his girlfriend is standing in the doorway like, what kind of white trash insanity have I gotten myself attached to?
We get back to hee-haw.
Imagine you being a young girl, and you go to your boyfriend's house, and this is what's going on in front of you. Holy shit, I'd be running across the yard. So, yeah, this is what happened. So this woman says his mother backed down, and they left. Roxanne was just flabbergasted. When she come home, she was very shook up. When she come home, by the way, not came home. When she come home, she was very shook up. No shit. I would be too.
Yeah, your boyfriend just threatened to kill his mom in front of you.
After she beat him with a belt.
Right.
What is happening in this fucking town? Like, what's going on? Roy's mother would call the girlfriend's house there repeatedly if her son was late getting home on a work night. She would just call over there. Is he there? Is he there? Is he there? Over and over. She appeared behind their house once, taunting him outside the car where he was parked with Roxanne. Like, talking shit to him.
Why would she do that?
Because she's apparently a fucking nut job. Apparently the mother is... Myrtle Kangas is out there, by all accounts. I don't know if it's a fact, but it definitely doesn't sound normal by what these people are saying. So they said he took refuge in their house until his mother started calling again and wouldn't stop. At 2 or 3 in the morning, Roy went home, finally gave up and said, she's not going to quit. I just got to give up and go home.
She smoked him out.
She smoked him out. Yeah, he tried to run away, and it didn't take. She just called the house all night, the girlfriend's house, until it was like, fine, I'll leave. You're bothering everybody.
Is a nut.
Yep. The girlfriend's mother said, quote, I told my husband as long as she's alive, Roy will never be better. The only thing that Roy would ever say about the mother to the girlfriend's mother was, quote, she's a wonderful person. She just wasn't a very good mother. Okay. That's what he would say. So he could have had a better home life, I would say, than this. But I mean, I've heard worse.
Yeah.
On this show.
Sure.
We've heard way worse. I mean, this...
But not much. I mean, apart from he's not getting beat as bad. There's not as much physical.
It's just kind of a...
torment.
Weird rednecky environment with a mother who has mental issues and obviously has some sort of strange... I mean, not even codependency, but some kind of weird, like...
It's a bizarre fixation on him.
A bizarre fixation on the... It's a good way to put it. Very, very strange here. So now Roy's friends thought the opposite. They loved his mom.
She's hilarious.
They did. They said Roy's mom was always behind him. Guy named Phil Potterjoy, who was best friends with Roy, along with a guy named Red Nelson.
Yeah.
Red, Phil, Roy. We're all going to have Roy.
Bunch of single-syllable names.
That's it. Red's real name is Daniel, but they don't call him Dan because there's already a Dan.
Yeah.
And, his hair red, so we can call him Red.
And Danny's a little boy's name.
And it's a little boy's name. You can call him Danny.
No.
Dan sounds like, I don't know, like you wearing like a tie places and... Hey, that ain't you. So,
Red.
We're going with Red.
Perfect.
Because your hair's red.
Yeah.
So,
and all this
so's
flannel.
your neck. Yeah, so's all your flannel. Your hair, your neck, and your flannel all match. So I figured I'd just call you that. So, I guess he said, this Phil Potterjoy, he said that at the time, everybody envied Roy. They said everybody envied Roy for his looks.
Yeah.
Said he was a handsome guy. He was charming.
Yeah.
He had a cool car. They said he had the family's cabin was on the lake. Like he had all these advantages for this area. Like where they're like, yeah, fucking all. He was like a cool dude with a cool car, a cool place to hang out.
Minnesota rock star.
That's it. They said his mother was behind him. Always, they didn't realize that it was a more obsessive relationship than they realized. They just realized it as like, oh, wow, mother does stuff for him. Look at that. So they said, wow. They said, quote, a lot of things I did with him that have affected me to this day, as one of his friends said. This is the Phil Potterjoy. Mainly, he said, bad treatment of women that they used to do together. Roy was definitely the instigator of it.
How so?
He said, well... This guy says, quote, my wife says I don't have any respect for women, and I guess I don't.
My wife says that.
That's my wife says I don't, and I guess I don't, he says. That's how he starts this little description.
My wife says I don't have respect for women.
And I don't.
She would know.
She's right. And she's right. She know. My wife. So, yeah, and I guess I don't. Basically, I'm a pretty good guy. Except for the fact that I don't have any. I had consecutive sentences. I don't have it. My wife says I don't respect her, and I don't. I'm a pretty good guy, though. Well, except for the fact that you don't respect your
I'm
wife.
a great guy if you're a guy.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, I guess that's what. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, if it's that
as
kind
long
of
as
thing.
you're a dude,
He's a good dude.
Get along great.
He does, he does that with women. Well, I don't know about that. He's a good dude. He's nice to me. It's one of those things.
Awful.
So basically, I'm a pretty good guy, but there's deep down things that we did with women. Oh my!
What? Deep down?
Oh God! The next line.
Oh,
the next line.
He's so gross.
This isn't me.
Yeah.
Okay. Quote. Serial sex with a fat gal in town in the back of Wahlberg's van was one of them.
Serial? What is that?
Cereal, not like with a bowl of cereal.
No,
like they would
one after the other.
They would, I think, run a train on a quote fat gal in town in the back of the van whenever they felt like it.
What's
I think.
fat?
In Minnesota. They're in good shape in Minnesota. Actually,
Yeah,
it's one of the
it's not
healthiest
that bad.
states in the country.
Yeah,
I was going to say I don't know. I was trying to think
I'd like
in
to know
Minnesota
what he
is there a
thinks is
different?
fat.
I don't know. She's probably who cares?
Yeah,
she's probably a big girl. I'm
like to
sure.
see.
There's heavy girls. I'm sure she's a heavy girl. It doesn't matter. Either way, you don't do that. You don't be mean to them.
Right.
Be nice.
That's my point.
That's
like,
the point.
Why are you saying something like that about somebody that's willing to fuck you and your friend?
He's almost saying he feels bad, but not. That's what I mean. This is a weird statement, though. I guess I don't. Basically, I'm a pretty good guy, but there's some things deep down we did with women. Serial sex with a fat gal in town in the back of Wahlberg's van. I saw him get rough with Roxanne a couple of times. That's his girlfriend whose mother, whatever. This is a girlfriend who witnessed the abuse there. He said that Wahlberg wanted to keep it quiet. He said, quote, he had an image. Nothing seemed to bother him. Nothing seemed to bother him was his image. And he was there to help people. He wanted people to think that. So he's got a definite, he wants to be a certain, have this people think of him as like, oh, he's a nice guy and he's handsome and everybody likes him. He wants to be this perfect guy, but he's also treats women like shit and, hits his girlfriend and, that's not cool. So, a lot of people are like that. They said, whatever, hatred, this guy said he treated women like shit, but women were all over him all the time. Like they couldn't get enough of him.
Tails all his time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He says, quote, no one had his charisma and no one since. This guy's never seen his charisma before or since. Never.
Yeah. He's a pussy Babe Ruth. That's what he is. They
flock to him. Well, the way he put it was a pussy Moses, actually.
Did he really?
He said, quote, people followed him like Moses or something.
So he likes to part the knees. That's what he is.
He parts the vagina, the vaginal sea. He parts the lips is what he does, and then he enters.
Pussy Moses.
That's what he is.
I was going with Babe Ruth, calling a shot, but I nailed it.
He got exactly where he was going with it. Dirtbags. One thing Jimmy knows, it's white trash.
I really know the worst of society.
Growing up in Phoenix really gives you an insight onto white trash like nothing else.
This place is like it's where they go.
It's like a magnet for white trash. It really is.
It's like
it's like Oakland in the 60s. That's what it is. It's like Phoenix now is Oakland in the 60s.
It's where the Canadian geese go.
Yes.
If white trash were Canadian geese.
White trash flocks south for the winter.
Collect in the last bastion of what they deem as their quote unquote freedom.
It's true.
Fuck you. Yeah. Leave. Stop it.
Stop bringing your hillbillery from around the country.
I know too much about you.
You goddamn hillbilly.
Sight unseen.
People followed him like he was Moses.
Pussy Moses.
Pussy Moses.
I will spread the knees.
I will spread. I wish I could name this episode Pussy Moses, but I don't think I can.
Can you call it Spreading the Seven Knees?
Probably not. So he said in high school, though, Roy was a loner who played the French horn. So you're not getting a lot of women playing the French horn in high school. Few. It's very, very few. He called him, quote, clean cut, straight laced. All the little old ladies liked him.
There you go.
So he's that kind of. He was a nice boy. Polite, nice.
Yeah.
I got my French horn under my arm.
Yeah.
But then after that, they said that this is the crux of it. They said, this is funny, a darker version of him came back after a year at college.
Yep.
A darker version who the ladies all liked. He went to Concordia College in Moorhead, Minnesota for a year.
Yeah.
And came back with a totally new vibe. Totally new.
Backpack full of banana liqueur.
Well, he said, no, this guy, he was doing drugs now.
Oh,
he got
shit.
into drugs. And, of course, he's dabbling in Satanism a little just to... Back then in the 70s, it seemed like if you told a certain type of girl that, you knew a little Satanism, that made her like, ooh, he's dark.
Yeah.
And like, blah, blah, blah. Like that seemed like a thing back then that was like cool.
He's got a snake.
Yeah, ooh, yeah, ooh.
He's so interesting.
Oh, man, I bet he keeps snakes in his van. I bet his van has the thickest shag carpeting on the walls in the back. Oh, baby, I can't wait to get in the back of that van. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. Yeah. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. The most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So, that's what was going on here. He comes back a different guy. 1 year in Moorhead, Minnesota.
It's all it took.
It's all it took. Came back, no longer a French horn playing nerd. Now he's dark. He's like some sort of like Johnny Depp character, like back when he was not,
after Gilbert Grape.
Back when he was still considered attractive to the world. Back then, that's what he comes back as. So he said that he kind of told everybody about it. They went on a smelting trip to Lake Superior.
Oh,
I guess to get smelts, little fish.
Is that it, or are they going?
Are they smelting shit down? Like melt shit down. I only think that it would probably be to get smelt because it's to the lake.
Yeah, unless they've got some factory on the water.
Smelting pot on Lake Superior. I don't know. Maybe. So
either way, it's awful.
We're going to smelt some things down on the lake now. So they go on a smelting trip to Lake Superior, this Potter Joy guy said. He said when he and Roy stopped in a local bar, he said only earlier that day he found out Roy was carrying a pistol. as well.
Yeah.
And he said that night the dance floor was packed and, it was loud. Everybody's dancing. They're in a local bar with people having fun and dancing. During this, Roy's dancing too. He pulls his gun out.
Why?
Points it above his head and starts firing shots into the ceiling while everybody's dancing.
What the fuck, Roy?
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, we're trying to have fun.
This isn't what are you doing?
Holy shit.
No.
Yeah.
So this Potter Joy says, quote, he's in there going bang, bang, bang. People lived up there, and he's shooting through the floor.
What the fuck? There's an apartment Oh, my God.
Above the place. He's not shooting it outside or into the, whatever. He's shooting it through somebody's floor.
Oh, my God.
Imagine that.
Popping that thing through the crib.
It's bad enough that you live above a bar where everybody's singing and dancing and screaming and everything, but now they're shooting guns through the floor. I'm moving.
Wow.
So he says, quote, he was a crazy guy, a fun-loving crazy guy.
So much fun.
Just so much fun. My God. He said that Wahlberg had called himself a hope-to-die druggie by this point.
Okay.
So this is a guy who really looks for an identity.
Yeah.
He's, all the old ladies like him. He's playing the French horn. He's getting good grades. Goes to college for 1 year.
Now he's got to rebel.
Comes back saying he knows about Satan, carrying a pistol, firing shots on the dance floor. He's a hope. I'm a hopeless druggie. Hope to die druggie. That's how hard I am.
Hoping to
in
die.
A year?
Yeah.
In a year.
Took him that long?
You don't even have a tolerance in a year.
No.
Like in a year, if somebody could smoke weed every day I'm just saying weed, not even a drug.
Oh yeah, he's probably in something harder than that.
Yeah, definitely. I know for a fact. But I mean, you could smoke weed, just the most entry level shit here.
Yeah.
Every day for a year. Okay. And if you hadn't smoked it before, you couldn't hang out with me for an hour still. Every day for a year. I would fucking have you asleep in an hour. Not enough time to build a thing for you.
Yeah.
And you know that for a fact.
I've
That's
seen
just
it.
the way it is. Yeah.
I've seen it.
So
who said it? Somebody said it fairly. Your brother may have. I can't believe he smokes as much. I can't do this. I cannot do this. This is all day for him.
Well, at the time, before a show, especially. Well, before a show, I gotta.
No. Take it back. My cousin Shannon said it.
Oh yeah.
Shannon
before
said
the
it,
show,
and she smokes a shitload of weed.
Yeah, before the show.
And she smoked with you, and she goes, I don't know why he's still smoking. I don't know why he pulled out another joint. He goes, does he not think everybody's high now?
Nope.
Like, I don't know who he thinks.
Not enough.
I'm like, he's not yet.
No, I'm fine. I'm just. It's a live show, and I need to get in the groove.
James, this was after. Everything was done.
Oh, good. No, that was Denver though. Yeah. That was the night I needed it that night.
Oh yeah. That was a rocky one.
That was technically a bad time.
Thanks so much.
That was bad stuff. Guy sitting next to us on stage, working the projector manually.
And it wasn't his fault either.
Nope. But I got a lot of yelling done that night.
Yeah, you burned down the trees that night.
Oh, motherfucker. It was happening. That was on that night.
Burned down enough weed to cover the mountain.
It needed to be done, too. I didn't care. And there was a lot of people in there, so I was trying to share.
It's like a forest fire.
It was. It was. It had to be.
Yeah.
The only way sanity was going to keep. So, a lot of people liked him still. Mm-hmm. Now, Roy, though, he says about himself, quote, I was so full of self-hatred that there was no way I could feel love for anyone. Mm-hmm. I had no respect for me or anyone else. He said he hated Ely, he hated being there, and he didn't like his parents, and he worked with his parents, too. That's the other thing. I believe his parents run the dairy, the local dairy at this point, so he is working at the dairy or some shit. It's pretty interesting.
So mom beats the shit out of him day and night.
Yeah, with milk bottles, apparently.
Wet noodles or something.
Wet noodles. Here's a guy here. Girls still liked him, too. Girls are into this guy. There's a woman named Carol Michaels. She met him when she was a kid, when he was going out with her sister.
Oh,
it was her older sister. Wow. And she says later on, quote, I first met Roy when I was walking up to my house. He was giving one of my sisters a kiss. I thought, my turn will come.
Wow.
That's a...
I got to age into that one.
Wow.
Holy shit.
When he's done with her, I am going to smell his fingers. Like, what are we talking about? I don't mean to be crass, but Christ almighty, my turn will come next.
I'm going to get into my sister's boyfriend.
That's just weird.
Yeah.
She said, quote, he was cute, had fast cars, and gave good parties. There was a group of girls who were always after him.
Jesus
Roy
Christ.
is killing it, it sounds like. He started sneaking drinks while he was young from his parents' liquor cabinet because it's cold up there.
Yeah.
Everybody does that, I think. For the last 4 or 5 years, he said he'd been drinking hard liquor all the time. And then he said he got into college, and now here, he got into taking both hallucinogens and amphetamines. So you want to rack up the hallucinogens, which is basically like a mid-60s Hell's Angel cocktail.
He'll try anything.
I'm going to trip and be on speed. LSD was the predominant drug that he liked, and he liked to take drugs and alcohol at the same time. That was his thing. And hard liquor and LSD, which don't mix.
No.
It's pointless to drink while you're on acid.
Pick your poison is the phrase.
Well, there's also... if you're doing substances, there's always one substance that will dominate the rest of the substances. You know what I mean? Like, you could drink a bunch of booze, but if you did 2 lines of Coke, you wouldn't even know you had any booze in you. Okay. You'd feel 100% sober and feel all jacked up because Coke trumps booze. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Acid trumps everything.
Yeah.
Acid is the umbrella.
Right.
There's nothing you can do.
You can't affect that.
That will poke through that acid bubble. You can drink all you want, and all you're going to feel is like you're tripping because in your body it'll affect you, but your brain will not notice it at all.
It'll kill you.
It'll kill you. It'll slow down and everything and all that, but your brain won't. You won't go, man, I'm drunk.
Or I'm dying.
I'm fucking tripping. I know a kid in high school. I know people just like this and grew up with them, and this is who I hung out with, were assholes like this who ingested as much as they could of weird shit. So I know a guy who he was tripping, he was drinking, he was smoking a ton of weed with dust in it. We were smoking dust blunts and shit back in, this is 11th grade. We're smoking dust blunts. He's drinking liquor from the bottle.
That guy.
And when we left, I was like, man, you must be fucked up. And he goes, I'm tripping my ass off. And I'm like, you drank so much. He goes, I'm tripping. He goes, I don't even feel any of that shit. He goes, I'm tripping my balls off. And that's all that matters.
That is a guy that cannot be sober. He hates it.
And he does fine now. He has a family. He's doing great. This was a man that he used to have a party at his place on a Friday, and he would sit with whatever leftover kegs were there and not sleep till Sunday. He would just sit and drink the whole time, and he was a disaster.
A machine.
Yeah. I saw him eat a Wendy's hamburger that had rocks in it because he rode a bike there so he wouldn't get a DUI, and he fell over the handlebars and all the food came out, and he said, I was picking it up out of the dirt, and it was all dirt in the hamburger. I was like, what did you do? Because he goes, you want some burgers? And there was like grass and shit in them. I'm like, where did you get these hamburgers? Because I flipped over the handlebars, man. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, your food is trash now. Yeah. That's what happened.
And he's fine. He turned out fine. I don't know how it happened.
He's not fine.
I see him. He's fine.
He's doing okay. He's not fine.
No, he's got a job and kids and a wife that somehow wants to be with him. It's crazy. I don't know what he's doing, but congratulations to him for figuring it out. See, he was one guy I was like, he used to go to jail just because he was bored.
What?
He was he'd get a lot of stress, and he'd be like, it's cool. He'd go for because he was always on probation for something. Yeah. So he goes, I just violate on purpose. He goes, so they'll put me in for like 3 months. He goes, I could chill out. Like regroup, got no bills. He goes,
not a plan.
He goes, I know everybody in there. It's cool. Like that was his fucking thing. Like, I'll just go chill. I was like, what? Who goes to jail just to unwind for a couple months? That's the weirdest thing. Yeah. It's literally what he did.
I don't know. It's kind of like sandals.
Yeah,
all inclusive.
He'd smoke the night before his probation if he wanted to go back. He goes, I'll just smoke tonight. I'll violate tomorrow.
Degenerate sandals.
That's all. Degenerate sandals. Degenerate Club Med.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Scum Med. instead of Club Med.
Oh, boy.
So he was always partying, doing his thing and taking all this shit is what he says. Now, he is living with his parents. His parents own the Ely Dairy.
Yep.
So I guess where you get all your dairy shit, which Roy had been managing for about a year.
Okay.
He's going to take over the dairy eventually, I assume. His friends describe him as a, quote, average guy. They said Roy's a peaceful guy. He avoids fights.
Yeah.
He doesn't really go after anything like that. He's just kind of an average guy. He says, quote, I celebrate every Saturday night. Okay. Every Saturday. And this particular Saturday in March, March 8th, he celebrated with beer, rum, Coke, banana liqueur, speed, weed, and right before attending a party with his girlfriend, a bunch of LSD too. This sounds like exactly what my friend did, minus the Coke, because I don't play that shit.
Push it inside me.
Yeah, you're not fucking hanging out with Coke with me. I don't like Coke, but the rest of that stuff, go crazy. So he does that shit and drops some acid too. Now his girlfriend Roxanne, the one who witnessed the weird shit at his house, Roxanne, she says that when he wasn't on drugs, he was a peaceful guy, very easy to talk to, but when he's on acid, he's a different guy.
Yeah,
he's he's on fucking acid.
Right.
Obviously. You're not in your right mind if you're on acid.
No.
I don't know if you're not. You're completely a different person.
Your focus is elsewhere.
You're a 4-year-old. You're a different person completely. I've never seen people get like real mean or anything on acid. It's usually you get real like docile on acid is what I've always seen.
You turn a little childlike.
You turn into a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because you're trying to absorb to your new habitat.
That's all. Yeah, your brain is completely different.
Right.
It's totally different. So she said, yeah, nice guy when he's not on drugs. So Roxanne, his girlfriend, she and her sister Brenda are driving around Ely drinking beer.
Yeah.
On the night of party. Driving around drinking beer.
I mean, it's the 70s. It's what you do.
I guess. Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I guess like even
it's a
like
thing.
Wow.
Dude, in the 80s, driving through the desert drinking it. It was a very common thing.
It's rural areas, too.
Yeah.
I have family in Scranton, and I had this cousin that when I was like 14, they owned like this bar down whatever.
Yeah.
He drove us in the dark through the woods to the bar.
Drinking.
Feeding us drinks as underage, very underage kids in the bar, and then shit-faced with a drink drove us back through the woods in the pitch black. So
absolutely,
that's just normal.
It's just a thing.
It was weird. It's a thing that goes. So they're doing that. They see him. They find him. They find Roy. And they pick him up, I guess, while they're driving. Hey, there's Roy. There's your boyfriend. You should pick him up. Okay, they pick him up. He told them that he dropped 2 hits of acid before he left home.
Yeah.
So he's going to be tripping pretty hard.
I'm having fun.
Roxanne she'll say later on that he giggled. He was giggling and acting a little funny. He's tripping. That's your first hour of tripping. Once it starts hitting, everything's hilarious.
It's childlike.
Everything's fucking hilarious. Yep. Then he says that he wants to drop 2 more hits of acid.
No, don't do that.
Which, if you've ever done acid, that's the thing. The first hour is very dangerous because you feel like before you're really peaking on it, you feel just like this euphoria of laughter, and you're like, I gotta have more of this.
Oh boy,
I wanted this to feel more. But if you wait, you will feel more. The problem is you just feel this is so good, I want more. Then you take more, and it's like, oh no,
I shouldn't have done that.
A few hours later, when you're like, this is never gonna end, then it's a different fucking story. Because I've been in that. One more hit here. This is I'm having a great time. You're like, I'm just making this worse. So he's doing that. Roxanne saw him take a small bottle out of his pocket and put something in his mouth. Another friend who was in the car said that she saw him put acid into his mouth at this time.
So he's got liquid.
I don't know if he's got liquid or if he dropped a hit and then like washed it down.
Got it.
Washed the taste out. Because it does have that weird taste.
Could have been a sugar cube.
Yeah, so it's, back then they used sugar cubes too. I don't know. I've only had it on paper but they, the 3 of them went to a party at 7:30 p.m. They hung out for about 3 hours. And Roy drank mixed drinks the whole time. So he is just getting it on.
Oh, boy.
That's crazy. That's just, I guess when you're tripping too, you can just drink mixed drinks and it doesn't affect you the same way. So he's just drinking them. I guess the acid annoyed his girlfriend. His girlfriend was annoyed with him.
Sure.
Because if you want to hang out with someone on a human level, you can't do it if they're tripping.
It's a new world.
You're
both in different worlds.
Yeah, you have a 5-year-old. Yeah. It's the same thing as if you have a 4-year-old who's got like a Nintendo Switch in their hand, playing DS or some shit. Like, they're not in your world. That you can't have a conversation with a 4-year-old who's playing a video game.
Right.
Two different things are, the fact that they're 4 and the fact they're playing a video game is they're not good communicators.
Certainly preoccupied.
They're a little bit preoccupied. So, she said that night the LSD left him hard to get along with and hard to communicate with.
Yeah.
And
she wants to talk about the relationship.
Well, she just wants to hang out and like have her boyfriend with her at a party, and he's just like giggling and tripping and acting weird and shit. Well, at least he's not firing guns into the ceiling.
Excellent point.
So I mean, good thing he's not on coke or anything. His drug use would lead to some shit sometimes. Apparently, he has smashed multiple windshields, not on acid, on other things, including his own. Mm-hmm. He smashed other people's. That's like his trick that he does, is he likes to smash windshields. Yeah. That's his go. Oh, fuck, Roy's on the goddamn hood again? Right. Jesus. Get Roy off. Oh, shit. I just put the goddamn windshield on. What an asshole.
Yeah. Latimer from the program.
Every goddamn
just pushing heads through windows.
Left and right, man. So he did that. He would occasionally freak out and trash an apartment, go crazy like a rock band in a hotel room and start trashing shit.
Yeah, but I'm not renting this shit for tonight. This is my shit.
This is your shit. Right. That's what I mean, including his own girlfriend's apartment.
Oh, God.
He trashed his own girlfriend's apartment, which will not endear you to your girlfriend. No. If you have some drug-fueled freak out and rip up her apartment, usually that's going to get you pissed. She's going to be pissed at you for that. Roy and Roxanne, this particular night, argued at the party and all this type of shit. They were arguing. He kept drinking. He's acting goofy on the acid. She's tired of him. Yeah. And eventually she takes off, okay? She doesn't want to deal with him anymore. And so he is left with Brenda, the younger sister.
Yep.
Roxanne's younger sister.
The one that's going to age into this.
So that's a different girl.
Oh, okay.
That's Carol Michaels. This is Roxanne's girlfriend, Brenda. Carol Michaels will come up later on, by the way. From being 12 back then, she'll come up as an adult again. But for now, she's out of the story. So Roy and Roxanne argue at the party. After several mixed drinks, like we said, he leaves with Brenda. So fights, they get in fights all the time. Part of it is because he's on drugs. He trashes her apartment, probably smashed her windshield a time or two. Another thing is because he's always fooling around on the side. Oh, by the way, most of the time with underage girls.
Really?
Underage girls.
That's his thing?
That's his thing. And not exactly, she's not even as mad at him for cheating. It's the fact that he's always cheating with like a 10th grader that makes her a little weary of him. One time, he was caught naked in the backseat of a car with an underage girl and got thrown in jail for statutory rape. Somehow the charges got dropped, but he was naked, just like Charles Manson got caught naked. It's the same exact thing.
Unbelievable.
They're like, never mind. Back then, it was so much. Nowadays, if you're caught naked with a minor in the back of your car, that's very serious.
Oh, God.
Back then, it was like, what are you doing, goofball? Get out of there. Like, it was not the same.
Don't you know you can't do that?
You can't. Oh, look at this. He's got that girl all naked now. Oh, what a jerk. I'll tell you what. You'll be lucky if her dad doesn't punch you in the mouth. Like, that's... No, jail.
Yeah.
Fucking 20-something years old, 23 years old. So Brenda, the younger sister, she says that she and Roy left the party together at about 11:45. Brenda sent him into the Legion bar to look for her boyfriend. Yeah. So she stopped by a bar and she said, go in there and look for my boy. This whole thing is just, we're going to look for my boyfriend in the bar because my girlfriend left. And oh boy, he was in the Legion for about 10 or 15 minutes. And when he returned, he's in there for 10 minutes. He comes back and he goes, I couldn't find your boyfriend, but I got in a fight. Very helpful. Thanks, Roy. Hey, thanks, Roy.
I did not find your boyfriend, but I did beat up a man named Richard.
Shit.
Man named Richard will not wonder why I was looking for your boyfriend next time.
I don't know. Is your boyfriend named Richard? I think I might have beat up your boyfriend. Oh, shit, my bad. So she said she didn't observe any cuts on him, but it was dark in the car, so who knows. During the 6 hours she was with him, Brenda said that he never became loud or boisterous, never lost his temper, never stumbled, never slurred his speech. He was just kind of giggly and silly. So the owner of the Legion bar said that he came into the bar around 12:40, but he didn't see any fight. No fight ensued.
Okay.
So who knows? He said
the acid told him. That's
fighting. What I mean. I don't know if he got had a weird fantasy.
Yeah.
He's on 4 hits of acid.
Yeah,
I mean, he
could be anything.
You could fight Jesus on 4 hits of acid. Literally, you could be like, man, I threw down on his ass. I'm lucky he's skinny. He's muscular though. He's sinewy. You know what I mean? You got to look out for him. He's tough, but he's got a disadvantage. So, being 2,000 years old, I had a slight speed advantage on him, and I think I took it over. So he said no fight happened. The bartender says that he didn't even appear noticeably intoxicated when he was there. So now Roy Tumala, who's Roy's third cousin.
Okay.
Roy's third cousin, Roy.
Yeah.
This is a good white trash episode here.
My brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl.
Yeah, and my third cousin Daryl, as a matter of fact, as well. Roy was sleeping in the apartment of Cynthia Teller on the evening of March 8th. At 5 a.m. on March 9th, which is just the continuation of this evening, Roy Tumela, and Cynthia Teller heard people running up the stairs and pounding on their apartment door. So this Roy Tumela answers the door, and he sees Red Nelson, who's there, Richard Murdo, another guy. It's Daniel Red Nelson, Richard Murdo, Roy Wahlberg here, and Jeff Getters.
Oh.
That's who's there by 5 a.m.
This is the foursome at 5 a.m.
Yeah, so midnight, 12:40, it's just him and Brenda. By 5 a.m., he's with 3 other guys, including our deceased young man, pounding on somebody's apartment door. He's had a crazy night. This is definitely an acid night.
He's running around.
Yeah, he told them that there's no they thought there was a party at the apartment. It's just them sleeping. It's 2 people sleeping.
We're here for the party.
Yeah, they're like...
The sleeping
You
party?
open the door, the guy's in his boxers, with his eyes half closed. It's dark in there. He's like, hey, what's up? And he's like, where's the party? And they're like, huh?
The fucking party.
No fucking party? Get out of here, you assholes. So he tells them no party at the apartment and sends them away. He goes back to bed. He heard the group. I guess they were in the house. They came in the house because he went back to bed, but he left them out there. He said he heard the group open the refrigerator looking for beer and then leave in 5-10 minutes. So they're like, there's no party, but we're going to make one. Okay. We heard there's a party, which means we're partying, motherfucker.
There's 2 beers. We can split them and dip.
Let's do it.
Say?
So, yeah, everybody in? So, there's another guy coming in here, Terry Gaffeller. He says that he was living at the Wolf Lake Resort 10 miles west of Ely on March 9th, and then he went out of town, or he went out to warm up his truck between 6:15 and 6:30 a.m. Wow, warming it up. That's a cold weather thing to do. He saw a gold Duster drive very slowly down the loop road and stop, is what he says. He saw the driver, who he later will identify as Red Nelson, okay? He could not see if others were in the car. He said he drove up behind the Duster and followed it for a while as both vehicles headed toward Ely. He wasn't following it on purpose. He was just going that direction.
Yeah.
Gaffeller drove into the Holiday Station, which is a gas station, about 7:10 a.m. in Ely and bought a pie. Like a Hostess pie?
At what time?
7:10 a.m.? Like a Hostess apple
better
pie?
have been.
I hope so. I hope he's just buying a whole pie.
Bought cherry pie.
Bought me a pumpkin pie over at the gas station at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Got me a peach cobbler and a cup of coffee.
It's a peach. A whole cobbler, not a slice of cobbler.
Whole tin of cobbler.
Just a big old round cobbler. I'm gonna take with me. It's a big square cobbler. So he did that. He said he went out to his truck at that point and saw the same gold Duster in the gas pump area of the station. He saw the driver standing by the car, but was unable to see if anyone else was inside. Just as he left, he saw the Duster head east outside of the city limits at about 7:15 a.m. That's his story. Robert Owens, the manager of the gas station, who knew Roy because he delivered dairy products there regularly because he's the dairy guy, he says that shortly after 7, Roy arrived at the Holiday Station in the gold Duster. Roy was in the Duster. The manager thought that 2 others got out of the car, but he remembered that Roy got out from the passenger side and came in and talked for the manager for a while. The manager didn't notice any cuts or bruises on him. The car which he arrived in was filled with $1 worth of gas. at the holiday station.
Just enough to get to the next gas station.
$1. I need $1.
Take $1 on 2.
I'll take 1 on 2. That's great. 4 people, $1.
Yeah, but in 73, that was like 17 gallons of
75,
gas.
was that right before the gas crisis? So, yeah, that would have been, because like a year later, that would have been like a teaspoon.
Yeah.
So, now Roxanne, she testifies later on that Roy came to her apartment about 9:20 a.m.
Okay.
So that's 7:20, and now we got a 2-hour window there between them at the gas station, talking to the manager, getting $1 worth of gas, and he shows up to the apartment at 9:20 a.m. She said he appeared tired, shaky, nervous, and hungover. He's had a long night.
He has.
Jesus Christ. I'm exhausted from this guy's night. She noticed a tiny bruise on the bridge of his nose and a tiny cut or crack on his lip. There were 2 small cuts or scratches on his left hand. She noticed his appearance had changed from the night before when she saw him. She said he now had on dress jeans instead of his work jeans. He's got work jeans and dress jeans. These are my going out jeans now. Come on. These are my wedding jeans. I wear weddings, funerals.
Yeah.
Then my going out dress jeans. And then I got my work jeans. This is every day. Just every day, you know what I mean?
I guess I can relate.
No, I got it. Yeah, you got your shit jeans.
Yeah, I got. But the blue ones.
You'd have your jeans you wore at work.
Yeah,
yeah.
I got blue ones that I just do whatever in. You know what I mean? But I got black ones that are my nice jeans.
Yeah,
that's my funeral blacks.
Yeah, I have my round the house jeans, and you got your like going to dinner. Jeans, looking cool jeans. That's right.
It just sounds funny.
It does. It just does. He had his work jeans and his dress jeans. Dress jeans is the thing that sounds funny.
That's what ruins it. Yeah.
Dress jeans. Really? Your dress jeans.
They're just jeans.
It's like the guy with the Jordans who told me these are dress Jordans. And I went, pardon? With the shoes. The dress Jordans?
Yeah. It's the ones you wear.
You wear them like
up.
jeans and shit? What? The fuck out of here with that. So anyway, She said his appearance was different. Now he's got on his work jeans. He's no longer wearing the flowered shirt he wore the night before. That must have been some outfit.
Flowered shirt and dress jeans.
Flowered shirt. That's his outfit, boy. I got my flowered shirt on, my best dress jeans. I'm ready to party. So he came in and he laid his head on Roxanne's lap for a while. He then went into the bedroom, took his clothes off, and went to bed. She noticed his long underwear was damp. They all wear the long underwear, by the way.
Layers, babe.
Layers. Was damp from the knees down, and that there was a hole in the knee. He told her that he got wet wading through the snow, and he told her that he thought he might have been in a fight at the Legion. I'm not sure. Red Nelson was with me. Eventually asked him, but I'm not positive right now.
Okay.
So, yeah. She didn't hear anything about Jeff Getters being with him or anything like that. So, Roy's story is he took a couple hits of LSD, went to a park, because that's her view.
Yeah.
Now, Roy's point of view here is he took a couple hits to do like some real Kurosawa shit here. He at the party drank strong mixed drinks. He said one after another. He was pounding them. Pounding them after he took a bunch of acid. He said that he was really loaded when he had left the party and he had trouble maneuvering the steps. That's what he says. Now, they said he seemed fine, but whatever. He spent several hours with Brenda, and then he and Red Nelson and Rich Murdo drove around together drinking beer, of course. Yeah. While they were driving, why wouldn't you just stop somewhere and drink? Why you got to drink in the car? Because it's warm?
Listen, I've done it. It's so fun. I swear to you, it's so fun to drink and drive.
Don't say that, please. We're going to get... so much
as a kid, when it was completely innocuous in the desert.
Don't do that, please. Don't listen to Jimmy about anything. I get what you're saying.
There was no danger of anybody getting hurt
in the desert.
Me.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
on the road, fuck that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're driving around
lunacy.
They're just driving around the middle of the night.
That's
the roads,
absurd, man.
Getting hammered after they've been drinking all night. That's what I mean. Yeah. You were in the desert by yourself,
all alone.
You crashed into some hole or something.
I hit a tree or a rock.
You can bleed to death out there on your own, but
it's all on me, babe.
No, you're not taking anyone down with you.
No.
That's true. So he drove around. Now, while they're drinking and driving, a car flashed its lights at them while they're drinking. Flashed the lights, so Roy pulled over and got out and talked to the driver of the car. The driver smiled at him, showing him a bottle of banana liqueur.
Okay.
That's what he said.
You too? Me
you
too.
Hey, look at that. He's
like
like, I got this.
Wave.
Like, he was like, you want to drink this with me?
Yeah.
And he asked Roy if he wanted to get into his car and help him drink this banana liqueur. Let's get into my car so we can drive around and drink banana liqueur.
What a weird... How does this even happen?
Right? So Roy later found out that he didn't even know him. He didn't even know that was Jeff Getters till later. He never met him.
You drinking? I'm
he
drinking.
Flashed lights at a car going. He's like, what's up, buddy? Want to drink banana liqueur with me? That's his story?
That's crazy.
I don't know about that. So Richard Murdo, Red Nelson, and Roy joined Getters in his car, and they drove around in the Gold Duster. Getters was driving. As they drove, they all drank the banana liqueur, and Getters told them about a girl named Liz who he had met that night. They drove by the girl's home and then to Red Nelson's house where he had some vodka they were going to go pick up. And, because you're driving, you run out of booze. Who wants to drive once you're out of booze? So they decided they wanted to get some beer at Cynthia Teller's apartment. That's why they all went up to that. So that lines up with them showing up at the apartment. They opened the door. They took all the beer that was in the refrigerator and left and drank all the beer. They then went to the Wolf Lake Resort area looking for more beer. Red Nelson drove. Getters sat in the front seat. That's where that other guy saw him do that loop and come back. Red Nelson drove. Getters in the front seat. Roy and Rich Murdo were sleeping in the back. When they got to Ely, Roy and Murdo woke up. They dropped Murdo off at his home. Getters said he wanted to check on his girlfriend once more and get some gas. What, are you just driving by this? He just met her that night.
It's not your girlfriend,
You're
man.
a stalker.
Yeah.
You met her that night and you're going back and forth. This is weird.
You're ruining it.
So they needed gas, so they pulled into the gas station. He remembered that's when Roy said he remembered he might have to deliver milk that morning, so he went into the store and talked to the manager. When he got out of the car, like, you're not expecting milk, are you? To see if the guy was surprised he wasn't carrying like a case of dairy. If the guy looks surprised, I'm fucked, all right?
Do I owe you milk?
Yeah. If he just goes, hey, what are you doing here this morning? Then I'm good. But I could be fucked.
A couple days early, aren't you right?
Yeah.
Yes,
I am. No, I'm just here for gas. So that's amazing. So he said he got back. When he got back, he noticed Jeff Getters was in the driver's seat. He said that he wanted to go home at that point, Roy did. So Getters dropped him and Nelson off at Roy's truck at the Zoop's parking lot. I don't know what that is. Getters drove away in the Duster. Roy says he didn't see him again. He said he dropped him off about 7:30. That's his story. Later on, too, he'll say 8:15, 7:30. Yeah. There's time goes back and forth, but that's fine.
On acid.
Yeah. Roy said that he took Nelson home and then drove home where he took out his contact lenses and snorted some speed to wake up because, he was getting tired, obviously. He then drove to Roxanne's apartment where she said he was acting funny because he was on speed.
Yeah.
He did not remember what he said. He could only remember going to bed. He says he doesn't know how he got cuts on his hands and face. He said that his relationship with Getters was good and that he didn't do anything to him. He doesn't know how he ended up there. He left him, drove away. Somebody must have got him. He said he has no idea. Doesn't know. He said he took drugs and alcohol, and how could he possibly have any fucking idea what happened? Okay. Sorry. Now, that's the two points of view. Now, here's what must have actually happened, okay? This is a great article. It's in, oddly enough, and it'll make sense, in Wired.com. Oh. You're going to go, why would this... This is the least technologically anything. We're talking about gold dusters and banana liqueur.
Very little technology
in the
involved
70s, drinking and driving.
Is Wired getting into carbureted vehicles?
No, they love dusters. No, but dusters, yes. Yeah. That's the weird part. No, that's the odd part. And the article is written by a guy named Ted Conover, who I'm like, I know that name, and I looked him up. He wrote that amazing book on being a guard in Sing Sing.
Oh.
He's the guy that went undercover as a guard in Sing Sing. It's called New Jack, not the wrestler. Yeah. New Jack guarding Sing Sing, or A Year in Sing Sing, or whatever it is, by Ted Conover. Really good writer and a good investigative journalist type of guy. So an excellent article here. A lot of good information only came from this article. So at one point in this evening here, Roy went to a local bar at the same time as Jeff Getters. That's where they ran into each other.
Got it.
Not flashing lights. It was Getters' 19th birthday. He'd been drinking and everything like that, too. Now, Getters had a date that night with an Ely woman. Okay. But he forgot about it.
Oh, no.
So he had made a date, but he forgot about the date, spaced it out because he was drinking, and went to the bar instead. So he went to this bar and was hanging out. This is the Legion, I believe, the same place the guy Roy ran into, looking for the other one's Brenda's boyfriend. He went in there, and pretty soon he was hanging out with a college student who was home for the weekend from Duluth. That's who he met that night. That was the Liz girl that he was talking about. They and another couple went for pizza down the street at 1 a.m.
Yep. That's what you do.
That's what you do. So they left. They went at 1 a.m. That's after Roy would have stopped at the bar. They leave then. Getters offered her his class ring. He just met this girl at the bar.
Getters, calm down.
He's already
man.
giving her jewelry.
Oh, boy.
You have had 5 drinks and a slice of pizza with this woman.
Right.
You do not give away jewelry of any kind, especially sentimental things.
This is why you don't drink banana liqueur.
Exactly.
You get real.
This is why the drinking age was raised to 21. Because at 19,
real sweet and start giving away all your belongings.
At 19, you'll give shit away. You want a car? You like dusters?
Did you say you like this watch? You listen. It tells how
You want it? You wear it. You just take it.
My granddad gave me this.
Class ring. Now, no one remembers whether Jeff and Roy spoke at the bar. It's uncertain whether they even knew each other then. But sometime after 2:30 a.m., they met on the streets of Ely somewhere.
Wow.
Not in the bar because everybody was gone somehow. So the lights flashing thing may have happened. Maybe they thought they confused him for somebody else, or maybe it was just a group of guys were all partying. But would you flash your lights at a car full of strange guys in the middle of the night? That's a way to get beat up.
Right.
That's
or shot.
Or shot or robbed.
In the fucking woods of Minnesota?
So, yeah, in Minnesota, I'm thinking they're going to get out and beat the shit out of you probably and leave you there.
Think we're cute? Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? Look at him. He wants to shake his ass at me, that son of a bitch.
Is that 99 bananas? He wants your phone number.
That's what it is. He's drinking banana liqueur. Now, who drinks banana liqueur? That's what I'm saying. Did your boyfriend buy that for you? It goes right back to that again.
Saying he likes you, Roy.
Right back to it, Roy. So, yeah, they're, probably just the last people around that night. It's a quiet, small town. I assume you see a car, you're like, who's that?
And he probably recognized the car from the bar.
Maybe.
Probably recognized that it was him. Hey, it's that dude again.
Yeah. Now, Getters driving, later on, his blood alcohol level is measured at 0.17.
He's done it.
So that's after the autopsy. 0.17 is...
Happy birthday.
And it's had to have come down a little since then. So he was drinking. Yeah. Everybody was really late, tying one on tonight. So he let Roy take the wheel of the Duster, and he climbed in the back seat to go to sleep. That's what we've put together from other people. He said, you drive my car, I'm passing out. So it's at this point that they were joined by Daniel Red Nelson, who is, I love how Conover put it as, quote, Daniel Red Nelson, a shoplifter and vandal who sold drugs to kids. That's how he describes him. How would you like that to be your introduction into the national press? Jimmy Whisman, a shoplifter and vandal who sold drugs to kids.
Just an all-around
great
scum of the earth.
Great, good. Yeah. I feel wonderful. Yeah, piece of shit. Jimmy Whisman, piece of shit. Sells drugs to kids, wrecks shit. You know him. He's an asshole. So
draws dicks on things. He's a loser.
So it's at this point that they meet up with these three. So it's not those three met up with Getters. It's Getters and Roy met up with
Found
Red,
the rest of his scumbag crew,
and Murdo. Yeah. So the police theory was that Wahlberg was talking shit to Red Nelson about his suspicion that Getters didn't want to take any drugs. Yeah. They were doing lines and shit, and he's like, no, he just wanted to drink booze, because that's what he did. He drinks booze. He's 19. They said, I bet he's a narc. They started saying he's a narc, because they're doing speed.
Right.
When you do speed, you get paranoid and you think shit. That's weird.
You're weird. You're out of it.
You're all out of it. So, also, Red Nelson said that years earlier, Wahlberg was jealous of Getters, who had just moved there, but local girls he does well with the local girls because he's new.
Yeah.
So, he's the new guy. And Roy doesn't like that the local girls starting to like him.
Oh, God.
Especially the younger ones, because that's who he likes.
That's his game. Yeah.
So that's Red Nelson's theory here. Now, as Getters slept, they stopped at Roy's truck, and they grabbed a hatchet.
Okay.
And they also grabbed a stolen Bowie knife at Red Nelson's house.
Okay.
So now they have a knife and a hatchet. This is while Jeff Getters is sleeping in the back seat. They drove to a remote logging road 8 miles north of town. And they stop there. Getters wakes up, and he gets out to pee.
Yeah.
That's how it works. He gets out to take a leak, and his last words, according to Red Nelson, were, quote, "Oh, no, don't do that," screaming.
Fuck.
Nelson will end up, he'll end up turning and giving evidence. There'll be state's evidence here. He says that, Jesus Christ. Yeah, he says that Getters and the hatchet, they attacked him with the hatchet, basically. Jesus Christ, this is rough. They attack him with the hatchet, and they basically throw the hatchet into the trunk and covered the bloodstained ground with snow. There's all blood there, and to cover that up. And so they've never located the precise murder site here either. They went back to Ely with Getter's body in the trunk. Nelson stopped at the car, and Roy removed the hatchet from the trunk, and the hatchet was cleaned and returned to the inside of the car. Nelson and Roy returned to Ely and took Getter's car to the car wash and cleaned the bloodstains from the car. They took the car to the co-op parking lot, stole the tape player out of it, of course.
Jesus.
The tapes and the speakers.
What? Take the stereo out of
Take
the car?
the stereo out, and then they left it there. This was after viciously attacking him while he was sleeping, which is fucking ridiculous here. By the way, like we said, he will, Red will plead to this and testify against Roy, and his sentence can be anywhere from, well, we'll get to that. I'll give you that. Here we go.
Murdo took off?
Murdo, they dropped off before any of this happened.
The guy whose name is damn near Murder. They
get
rid of him.
He's the guy who doesn't kill anybody.
Right.
So apparently this Red Nelson says the dialogue was that Getters was a narcotics agent, and basically they were talking about, we got to kill this narc and all this type of shit. And so that's the thing. So they actually went to get weapons to do all this sort of shit, which is crazy. Now the investigation, they're the people last seen with Getter. So Red Nelson and Roy Wahlberg are prime suspects. They knocked on that guy's door, who saw them all together at 5 a.m. So this all goes on. You think it'd be pretty open and shut. Took 17 months before it's in a grand jury.
What?
This deal. During those months, Roy freely talked with the lead investigator, talked with police, tried to like lead them in other directions and all that sort of shit. He thought he said he was playing mental chess with the police there. So Wahlberg ends up obviously getting arrested for this whole thing, and he's arrested for first-degree murder. And many years later, he would say, quote, "My memory is very, very piecemeal. I have an overall impression of killing myself for a long time. I remember watching Red commit the murder, looking through the back of a pickup truck. And about the last 5 years later, I remembered, wait a minute, we had a camper on the back of the pickup. I couldn't have looked out the back of the pickup." He's like, I'm realizing that, like, my memories aren't my memories. Like, I see them, but they couldn't have happened that way.
Oh, that's not good at all.
That's not good at all. And we don't know if he's full of shit. Yeah. That's an easier way to say I didn't even know I did it. Or if that could be too. I mean, memories are weird like that. And if you're on drugs, it fucking further alters your memories. Yeah. And you could definitely say, I know this happened. And then you'd see it and go, oh, that's impossible for that to have happened. So I've done that. Thought something definitely happened and it didn't. So, they talk about the they're talking about the evidence and talking about everything like that, and it shows that Nelson could recall even the smallest details of wounds on Jeff Getters and gave vivid accounts of the contents of Getter's car trunk when they threw it in there. Like, he knew everything that was in the car trunk. He knew everything. Had attention to detail. They said they took careful time destroying the evidence at the scene of the crime. They cleaned the hatchet very well. Their clothes were cleaned and immediately followed the crime. It's all this sort of shit. So this isn't, if you're tripping, you don't do this sort of thing. No. So that's the thing. I think, plus acid about 8 hours. And the last 2, you're not even tripping really anymore. You're coming down. So
feels like Roy's using the drugs as like an excuse for not knowing.
Yeah, that's what
Nelson
I mean.
Seems to know everything.
Yeah, he's like, I know exactly what happened because Red's got a lot of motivation to know. Mm-hmm. He's got like a very much shrunken down prison sentence here. Now, awaiting trial, Roy is in jail, and he attempted to commit suicide while in jail, and he was placed on the suicide list. His psychiatrist at the time said his ability to laugh was excessive under the circumstances. He said, I believe that the possibility of serving a life sentence is just now beginning to dawn upon him. Because of his fair complexion and youthful appearance, he states that he's been getting a lot of pressure from the other inmates for sex. So, I bet. Now,
this is great.
This is great. Now, Jeff's dad, Stan, is fucking pissed.
Really?
He wants blood. Jeff's dad, Stan. He said that he's really, really upset. He says, quote, I had a long time before I could say the Our Father. I mean, forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sinned against us. I could never forgive him, ever. And his idea of his fantasy justice, his father, is, quote, give me my 30-06. I just want one shot. That's all I need.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, he just wants to take him out to, he said, while he's running across a field. He just wants to treat him like a deer.
Let him run. I'll still
Set
get
him free. Give me one shot at him. That's what he's saying.
I'll fix this.
I got this. And the rest of the getters kind of feel the same way. The children, they want the death penalty. Mm-hmm. They were skeptical of parole for him. They didn't want him getting out. They said, somebody that evil, I personally don't believe can ever change their inside no matter what. That's his brother, Jay. And they said the same type of thing. Now, the trial, Red Nelson here, he is allowed to plead guilty to second-degree murder. His sentence can run anywhere from 0 to 40 years, depending on what they feel like giving him and how good of a witness he is, basically.
We'll see.
So that's why he remembers the smallest fucking details of attacking this. And they did. They attacked him.
Trying to get that sentence down to 0.
They attacked him, and apparently the last thing that happened was Red telling Roy to finish him off, and that's what ended up happening. Roy was attacking him with a hatchet.
Oh,
and that's how it went down apparently here. So so the judge has all the discretion here. Jeffrey's little brother Jay, who was a high school student at the time, he said that we did everything we could to hold ourselves back to try not to choke that bastard. There was so much anger and trapped violence. Now, the first year in prison, because he is going to be sentenced guilty as fuck, obviously, and he is going to get a life sentence, which does not translate to what you think it would here. So we'll talk about that. You, sir, may fuck off, but it's more than that. In prison the first year, Roy's dad dies of a heart attack while shoveling snow off the roof of the house. Roxanne stopped visiting him because he's in jail. Yeah. She said she had migraine headaches whenever she went there. It's stressful, jail. His psychiatrist prescribed him antidepressants and sedatives, but he ended up in the infirmary close to death from injecting himself with Dilaudid, which he somehow got in jail.
What?
And is injecting himself in jail.
He can get that shit in prison.
He can get anything in prison, yeah, except fucking guns, pretty much.
He doesn't have anything, though, in terms of value to get that, though, right? And
I mean, his parents might be putting money on his books.
Who knows?
I would assume, so he can survive.
Maybe he's that ever golden butthole.
And that's what I mean. He is, like he said. He said to make himself less physically vulnerable, he began lifting weights. He tried to stay in his cell and do a lot of reading, and he slowly got better and better. And he starts doing a prison-run program called Insight as he joins. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. Now, Carol Michaels, remember her?
Yeah.
The little sister? She comes back. And she said she didn't care about the murder conviction.
What?
She said, my whole reaction was that I didn't care. Her parents did, and her parents forbade her to visit him in jail. But when she turned 18, she went anyway.
Oh, my God.
And Roy had been in for a few years at that point, and Carol Michaels was visiting him all the time. She said once or twice a week for years.
Huh?
My turn will come.
Oh,
wow. I asked him to marry me a couple of times, and he said no. from prison.
Yeah.
He said it was pointless for me to wait around because he was going to be in prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Now, Insight, very quickly, is a program started by two prisoners who were smart people. They were both murderers. They started this program where they lobbied the state legislature to basically allow them to apply for grants to get college education in jail, basically. So they got it. So they do that there, or did that there. They took standardized tests, and the whoever was accepted lived in a special cell block, and they did their full-time prison work and full academic schedule and the whole deal. So they had computer work and everything. So Roy scored very high and was accepted. This is in the 80s. Insight cell block was they said it's a safe place, basically. It's all the people there going to school, and they're not trying to
game the system or anything.
Exactly. They're not trying to, no one's in there to try to, rape each other or anything here. So he starts doing his bachelor's degree, and he says that it was a slow start because his brain was a little addled. He said, my own theory was I was carrying so many chemicals in my body, like PCP, it just took time for that to dissipate and for my mind to start working again, which is true. That if you do drugs for a long time, you got like a brain cloud that takes a while to go. He said that, he was just doing tons of drugs before that. So anyway, what he does is he starts doing this, and he said that he was really good at it. He got his bachelor's in computer programming and started to work on his MBA. He said, I had to learn like 5 or 6 additional computer languages and basically just stay barely ahead of the other students. So he thought that it was fun. He said he stopped doing drugs, and it was the first time he was into something that wasn't terrible for him, basically. And in the meantime, Insight had gone online and received a big grant from Control Data Corporation, which was a computer manufacturer, and Roy became lead instructor of Control Data's Homework Project, a national training program for homebound and disabled people conducted over the network. Okay,
this is the main guy.
This is the guy. In many cases, the students were quadriplegic and programming with a mouth stick and shit like that. So,
wild.
Yeah, he said, I just identified with them so much they were isolated from the mainstream workplace, just like me. A little different reason. Yeah. In 1982, he secretly teamed up with control data analyst Barbara Hansen, which he ends up hooking up with as well, to form a corporation.
He's got a business. Digital
Dispatch Inc., DDI, sought contracts for computer-based education programming from outside companies like Merrill Lynch and shit like that, the Florida State Lottery, and then contracted with Insight for programmers to do their work.
Wow.
So he's got a whole little scam going on here. This is a little white-collar scam he's got going on in prison. An article he read in 85 said that they anticipated the arrival of computer viruses coming. So the piece was theoretical, he said, but given what I knew about the people around me, he said, it's definitely going to happen, no doubt. So he began initial work on an antivirus program, which ended up working out and all this sort of shit. So he ends up, he talks to a murderer who's in there, who's a computer genius who just killed a guy in a love squabble. And he said that inmates were weren't supposed to hang out with new people, but he got a hold of them anyway and picked his brain a little bit here. Anyway, they start doing this. They said, quote, so he'd essentially in his cell on paper write everything, and I'd go back and put it in the computer and come back to him with error messages, and he would tell you how to fix them.
Wow.
That's how he did it with this guy. Wahlberg gets transferred to Insight's headquarters in the medium security prison in Lino Lakes, and was he immediately got a small office with a terminal on the internet. He said that's where he lived. When I got in front of that computer, I could be communicating with all of academia, people with larger ideas, blah, blah, blah. So he likes the internet, and he thought it was a good marketing tool. He made his first antivirus product, Data Physician, and he spread the word online. Barbara Hansen's in this sort of thing. DDI's tax returns from 91, 92, and 93 show gross receipts of $813,904, $942,839, and $833,525, respectively.
Where does that go?
In 1991, Barbara Hansen took home a salary of $147,000. Okay, now, Media interest was big too. The computer magazine started calling, and the national media, and Barbara Hansen, routing the calls from her house there that she bought, she would send them to the Insight cell block, and they had no idea they were talking to him in prison.
Unreal.
They didn't know they were talking to a prisoner because that had a regular phone line. You didn't have to go through the prison system. So he was quoted about sales of antivirus products in 1988 in the Washington Post from prison. National Public Radio's All Things Considered. He's on there.
NPR.
NPR. He's using Eric Hansen as an alibi, which is his middle name and Barbara's last name.
Yep.
He told people that
Alias.
Yeah. That's his alias here. And meanwhile, here there's that other programmer who helped him do everything. He's doing the murderer. He's doing technical support calls. And he said that he handled all the data physician tech calls from people at the U.S. Department of Transportation, Department of Energy, the Postal Service, the IRS. None of them knew they were talking to inmates.
Idiots.
None of them.
But in their defense, there's no way to know.
There's no way for them to know. That's right.
They got duped.
So they said, this must have been scary to run from in prison. He said, quote, "Oh, it was a terrifying time for me." He said that, anytime this could happen, he goes, "I knew if I got caught, I would fuck my parole up." He said, "I never knew when my calls were monitored, but I'd spend days talking to these media people. I was getting so stressed out." Finally, Bill, that's the guy who helped him, said, "Look, if you're going to crash, you might as well grab a hold of the controls and have some fun on the way down." I took that in perspective and said, "All right, let's go with it. Let's have some fun." But I always just assumed it was going to blow up in our faces. Now, he's doing all this. Nobody knows about it. But Jay Getters, the little brother who's now an adult, who's now an attorney, mind you, by the way.
Yeah.
By now, he had gone to law school and become a tax attorney.
Awesome.
He wanted to be a prosecutor, but they told him in law school, you got too much.
Mm-hmm. There's too much around you.
There's too much for you to do that. It's too personal for you. You can't be personal.
Mm-hmm.
Be a tax attorney. You'll make money and you won't want to kill anybody.
Right.
So that's what he said. He says that he knew about what was going on. He said that Roy had become a millionaire in prison by doing some computer shit. He said his mother was mouthing off up north. He said, telling everybody that her son's so rich now.
That goddamn lady.
Yeah. So they said it was, they started an investigation and they do all this type of shit. They look into everything and they do have this investigator look into shit and it's fucking interesting. Now, the family is adamantly against him ever getting out of jail and everything like that, but they look into it, and he says basically they sit down with a prisoner and tell him, you jump through these hoops like a dog and you'll get out. It started becoming quite evident that they were dead on course to release him at some point, so he starts to get worried, and Getters says that he'll tell the Department of Corrections about the secret business. Mm-hmm. So the Department of Corrections replied that that business does not exist. And he's like, it fucking does. And they're like, nope, we checked. It's nothing in there. So the Getters tried to tell on him for the business, and the prison said, nope, you're wrong.
Oh, boy.
That's that. So, Jesus Christ. So Getters organized a campaign to stop him from getting parole, obviously, through public opinion. Yep. He wrote to the governor, who didn't respond. He mounted a petition drive, sending family members into the stores and bars of Crosby and Iron Range and canvassing everybody, talking to people, don't let him out. He appeared on local radio and television shows, spoke to political groups, told everybody to write the governor, allied himself with the National Victims' Rights Group, for murdered children. I mean, you name it. It's
wow.
He does all this type of shit.
Meanwhile, Myrtle's screaming about how her son's rich.
Exactly. So in Minnesota, the power to parole, though, none of that other shit matters. Power to parole rests solely with the Commissioner of Corrections. So you only have to convince that guy. Yeah. Eventually, they would succeed in passing Getter's Law, which transferred power of parole in first-degree murder cases to a panel consisting of the governor, attorney general, and chief justice of the Supreme Court.
Right.
It goes to a lot of different people. In January 1993, he's up for parole, and they announce they will parole Roy.
Get
they have no idea.
Fuck out.
The commissioner here, Orville Pung, he said, this is a guy who represents no risk to the public. He is probably an example, the best example of a person who has changed. I don't know of anybody who has been so ready to get out. It's just a person who have done some remarkable things. And so, the brother's pissed, the family's pissed.
Did Orville get a donation to his re-election committee? What the fuck?
I don't know. They're impressed that he is teaching people and got a bachelor's degree. They release him from prison July 23rd, 1993, after 17 years in jail. He gets like anonymous crank phone calls all the time right away saying, how's it feel to be free? Too bad Jeff can't be free and shit like that. It's the family that's probably doing that. No. Carol Michaels backs away. She's been with him the whole time, but she backs away when she realizes that he's in a relationship with this Barbara Hanson who he's in a business with.
Yeah.
Her relationship, it's fucking crazy. So the Getters family hates him. They're still like trying to, they still want him. Sure. Basically, they sue him. Okay. They said, we can file a civil complaint.
Yeah.
So they do. And they said they file a civil complaint saying that Wahlberg offered an annual payment to the family of 5% of his net after tax income, 80% of any inheritance or windfall earnings, and 50% of the proceeds from the sale of any business interest, evidently for the rest of his life.
Oh.
That's what he said. So what is this, Jay? He said, my original intent in turning my life around in prison was to try and succeed economically in order to create an educational or business investment trust for your family. There was nothing I could do to bring back the life that was lost, but I had to at least try to do something positive. I'd like to try to do that again. You mean ever?
Yeah.
For the first time? So the offer was rejected, though, and they go into it further. Because they're talking about it, and he's like, the brother's like, if I do that, then I have to root for you to succeed. Mm-hmm. I don't want to root for this guy to succeed.
That's a great point.
For our family to make money, this guy's got to make millions of dollars. I don't want him to make millions of dollars. Fuck this guy. So he's like, not really into that. So they pursued the question of what became of the money. They couldn't find his money too for a while. It's bad. Wahlberg, while they're coming after him, he says, oh God, this is going to fuck everything up because he's going to come after me. This is going to go on and on and on and on. So now he starts claiming he's broke. Mm-hmm. He has no money.
None.
Even though he definitely does. And lawyers are unsuccessful proving otherwise because he knows how to hide it.
Right.
So he said that he'd given away, loaned out, or lost everything. That's what he said. He has over $10,000 in credit card debt and his bank account's empty. And according to the books of DDI, he's not even making any money. So they end up with this big deal with a lifetime cap of $375,000 as the most money they can get. So that's how that works. And Jay Getters said, yeah, it's ironic, an eerie thing to know that financially I'm interested in his success. I don't like that. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah. He said, what the family would really like would be if he just killed himself. Jesus Christ.
Jay.
Wow. Okay, Jay. I mean, what are you going to do?
Though.
So the station, Minneapolis WCCO TV, spent a year developing a 60-minute style expose on Insight, the prison program, and it's called When Prison Pays Off. And it basically makes everybody pissed off that people are going to jail and learning how to make money to do things, is how that works.
Wow.
So he's trying to piss everybody off. But I mean, you got to do something. What do you want him to do?
I mean, would you rather they just sit in there and rot and then come out and be a fucking drain on all of us? Or would you like them to go in there, get corrected, and be a functioning member of society?
Exactly.
Yeah, with some supervision and lack of trust, but maybe pay some fucking taxes would be nice.
Yes. That's it.
Help out.
But instead, before the show aired, the state had shut everything down.
Really?
The computers and financial records were seized, and the four inmates on contract to DDI were locked out of their offices. Roy Wahlberg basically was able to bullshit people that they had technical problems for a while, but after about 30 days, he had to close everything down. Mm-hmm. He said the Department of Corrections basically would clear it all up, but then he thought he was fucked. He's like, I'm so fucked. He said the Department of Corrections, he said, they took all my shit. I'm totally screwed. I can't do the business. Oh, by the way, on some of their computers, they found child pornography on there, on a hard drive, and announced it to the press that they had sent computers to the FBI. So now he goes, oh, I'm fucked now. Now that's connected to my business.
Oh, that's his favorite.
He's totally fucked. He said, but after the wrongful death suit, I don't have the money. Besides, suing the agency in charge of your parole might not be the best idea because he's on fucking parole. Yeah. So he says, maybe I'll give up. He says, quote, in times past, people went down with their ship. That's exactly what I'm inclined to do. It's the honorable thing. Well, I called my parole officer and asked if it was possible to have my parole revoked. And they said, no, stupid. Right. That means we have to pay for you. That's not how this works. It's not a fucking motel that you can check into every once in a while. No.
It's not the Hojo.
Yeah, so he says that there's an old Native American principle that if your enemy has a knife to your throat, you lean into it to rob him of the pleasure of your fear. I want to lean into the knife. It's like the ultimate fuck you. I'm leaning into their knife, and they don't fucking expect it or like it. He says they wanted control, but the only way the state or the family had power is if he started caring about being free. That's what he said. So he expected to be arrested, and he said he even tried to kill himself. He said he ran his car in his closed garage. He said, but that damn Mitsubishi was too efficient. I was in there all day long.
It takes no gas.
It takes no gas. It runs very lean. I don't know what to tell you. So he said not long after, a friend of his said that Roy loaned an old prison acquaintance his car and it had been used to commit a crime. And so he said he's being looked into and he expects to be arrested. And he does, but not for that.
No.
February 1995, Roy is arrested for possession of LSD. That's how they bust him. That's a $500,000 bail. 25 years in prison and a revoked parole is what they're talking about with him. His parole is going to be revoked, all this shit. The story, this is wild. There's a woman named Heather who he met at a pie shop. Okay? Tony, a friend of Heather's, wanted to sell Roy some LSD. Jason, who was a young homeless man who'd been living with Roy, and Michelle, who was Wahlberg's latest girlfriend, and Kathy, who was 15, who was a runaway, were all hanging out. Jason, the homeless guy, and Kathy, the runaway, had gone in Roy's truck to a meeting with Tony, the drug dealer, in a parking lot of the Fanta Suite Motel in suburban Burnsville on Minneapolis's
this is so
edge
seedy.
To buy LSD.
Yeah.
Jason, who was carrying $150 of what he said was Roy's money, called Roy from the motel to say that the truck wouldn't start. Roy and Michelle drove down to help. Soon, the truck started, and in its cab, Jason handed the sheet of 100 hits of acid to Roy. In an instant, a swarm of agents from the South Metro Task Force arrested everybody, but not Jason, not Michelle, only Roy.
Yep.
The meeting had been a setup. Tony was a police informer. Jason had turned on Wahlberg and implicated him afterwards when they caught him, and that's how that ended up happening. Police claim they hadn't targeted Wahlberg and didn't know about his record until after the arrest.
Who's he?
Just a lucky... They don't know about him in Minneapolis.
Just got him.
It's a lucky snag. Jay said that Jay Getters, the family there, they said the family was elated about his arrest. They loved it. They get him possession of LSD as well as a T-handled knife. They revoke his parole, send him back to Stillwater for at least another 3 years. Wahlberg's mother closed the office that he had, sold or gave away his computers, put shit in storage, and everybody that worked there went off to work. Yeah. He said, quote, I wasn't going to buy acid. I knew the cops were down there. I think he likes to sound smarter than he is.
Right.
You can't know what it feels like to be the focal point of all that negative energy. You can read about it in the newspapers, but you're not sitting there as the focal point, having the pressure from reporters and listening to the direction they're going. You question everything after a while, especially yourself.
Yeah. You're a piece of shit, man.
Yeah, he said
he's a terrible human being.
He is. He said this is a story about hatred gearing up after 2 fucking decades and ruining a beautiful person.
No.
He called himself a beautiful
person.
Is this guy... does he sound like... There's certain people he sounds like. This is a story of you doing this to me, right, even though I've done all this horrible shit.
I'm an awful human being, and now it's come home to roost, and it's your fault.
Listen to this. I looked in the mirror the other day and thought, okay, what do you think? Thought, I've ruined my life. I've done this.
Where'd my teeth go?
No, quote, I could have been a professional.
I could have been a contender.
Fucking idiot.
I could have been somebody.
2004, he is up for parole. Yes, he is up for parole, and he is denied parole, and he will not be up again for 6 more years after that. They do transfer him, though, to transferred from Lino Lakes to Oak Park Heights because of medical reasons.
Lino?
He was Lino.
Yeah.
I know. He says he was. They denied him parole due to disciplinary problems. He's
a dick.
He's a dick, basically. He won his early parole, obviously, but then he's right back in there, and he's stuck. Now, Jeffrey's parents, Getter's parents, they died. Katie died in 2007. Stan died in 2008.
Damn it.
I think Jay's still around, though. Roy seems to be, as we can see, still in prison.
Oh,
there he is. Never got out.
He has the most Roy face
He
I've
looks
ever
like a
seen.
fucking Roy, doesn't he?
That is Roy.
Hi, Roy. He never got back out, dude.
Wow.
He got arrested for that acid in 95.
They've got him for 25 years.
And they just yanked his parole. They've never given him parole again.
Wow.
He got denied his parole and denied again and denied. He just keeps getting denied now. Now he's fucked.
Stick around,
there
Roy.
There he is. He's either an MCF Stillwater. I have 2 different find a prisoner things, either an MCF Stillwater or an MCF Oak Park Heights.
I cannot believe how Roy he is.
He is so fucking Roy. There he is.
Holy shit.
And Jeffrey is buried at the where is he? At the Lakewood Cemetery in Crosby, Minnesota.
Damn it.
That is beautiful, though.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
What a nice headstone.
It's a picture of his headstone. They have like really nice
like a garden.
Like flower baskets on like black planter things around it. So it's just these beautiful flowers coming down in front. They have flowers growing in front of it.
In front.
It's fucking gorgeous, man. Like that's the grave you want right there.
Absolutely.
That's all 3 of them too. That's Jeffrey, mother, and
nice.
father. So that's the 3 of them in one big plot there on the thing. So and that's nice. It sucks that they're dead. Jeffrey's, he should have been.
He should have been somebody.
He should have been 65 years old right now. He's born the same year as my dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he just died at 19. That sucks. And this asshole, though, still in prison. So fuck him.
Hilarious.
I don't feel bad for Roy Wahlberg. He can eat dicks.
Yeah.
So hope you enjoyed that goddamn show. Wow. That's a crazy ass.
What a ride.
Right? I mean, that's a wild ride all
Felt
through
like
it.
we were drinking and driving.
Drinking, driving, tripping.
We were
the whole
swerving.
Thing. They were swerving everywhere, man. All sorts of shit going on there.
Wow.
If you liked it, tell us about it. Tell the world about it. Get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Tell everybody. Give us 5 stars. It really, really does help drive you up the charts. We have no goddamn idea why. In addition to that, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs.
Right.
And we know you have needs. Listen to, and if you don't listen to crime and sports, you're out of your mind.
Yeah.
Listen to crime and sports. Trust us. You need to hear crime and sports. And also listen to listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie as well, because I have to watch terrible romantic comedy. So make it worth my while. That said, also, you want to do Patreon. Trust me on this.
Yeah.
You want Patreon. You also want to follow us. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and patreon.com/crime and sports. You want this stuff.
It's been so fun.
Our episodes, our Patreon episodes are amazing. Honestly, I'm gonna be arrogant about it.
We put good ones out.
They're pretty fucking good. I would definitely. They're worth the $5 a month, and you get access to both shows stuff. So you're gonna get access to all sorts of shit, the back catalogs of it. Lots of stuff to listen to. Patreon.com/crime and sports, and you'll get a shout out too.
Absolutely.
Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name at the end of the show because you're a producer, and damn it, we respect you. And on top of that, if you would like to just be a nice person, say you want good karma, you still want to be a producer, want to get your name mispronounced, but you just want good karma, you can donate on PayPal as well using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com, which is also a good way to get a hold of the show.
Yep.
That said, Jimmy, I think I need...
No Roys.
Please, no Roys. I need the list of people who would never, ever, ever attack us with a hatchet after sharing a bottle of banana liqueur with us. Hit me with those names right now, please.
This week's executive producers are Liz Vasquez, Jordan Bennett, CJ Buford, Trent Pearson, Filipino Sex Thing.
Good. It's helpful. You know you're doing something right at that point.
Cody Ingram, George Neiman, and it's Eric Kohlkamp's birthday. Happy birthday, bud.
Happy birthday.
Indeed. Other producers this week are Aaron Ozzie and his girlfriend Edna Lopez.
Yes.
Bizarrely. Listen, Linda Pata, Aaron doesn't want you to be his girlfriend anymore.
No, that sounds bad.
Yeah,
but it's not.
But he would prefer it if he called you his fiance for a short time, and then hopefully call you his wife when you guys set on a date. If you're okay with that, take the ring from him right this second.
Yes,
it's beautiful, right?
It's nice.
Now start crying some of those happy tears
Aaron
and go
has
be
wonderful
crazy
taste.
kids.
Call your sister. FaceTime with your cousin and show her the ring. It's going to be
unless
good
you
for
said
guys.
no, then it's Aaron's tears. So I assume congratulations.
And we're terribly sorry, Aaron, that we did this poorly for you. Well, we
Deal
hope
with
it works out.
Congrats. Other producers are Jen at Your Fandom or Mine. Brian Sprott, congrats on the weight loss, Brian. Keep going.
Hey.
James Martyr, Jennifer Stevens, Peyton Meadows, Carl Kirshner's wife, Christy, had a birthday this week. Happy birthday.
Hey,
Amanda
Kirshner's
Knight.
wife. Good.
Somehow I put an umlaut over the U. I don't know how I did that because you guys told me to type this stuff, and now that's happening. So
How did you find the umlaut, Jimmy? What's going on here?
I have no idea.
I don't know how to do that either.
I can barely scroll. We're lucky I can scroll through these. Somehow I put a fucking umlaut in here. Amanda Knight, Thomas DeMello, Shay Foden in Australia, Marcos Gennara. Jesus, fuck. Amanda Jacobs, Monroe Quesada's boyfriend. No, that's best friend.
What are the
Her name's Emily, and she had a birthday. Happy birthday.
That's terrific, Emily. Happy birthday.
Grant Stansberry, Joseph. Nope, that's Joshua. Frank Coer, Shanice Iorera, Bonner.
It's going well.
Jude Kendall, John Percival, Zach Bonea, Chris Mahi's giant cock. I can read that.
Oh,
Holland Sour.
Good for him.
Evelyn Valles, Joanne Ahern. She's fantastic. She's tearing it up. She's a wonderful woman. Janice Hill, Alexander Ciapielas. Girlfriend Kayla. Jeez. I got to write better. She had a birthday, though. Happy birthday, Kayla.
Happy birthday.
Mark Drazinovich, Tanya Van Kampen, Mackenzie McLean, Thomas Smith, Trey Volkanar, Ashley Vio, Steve Schnell, Chris Bartley, Corey Cyphers, Ashley Berlage. I think Berlage. Okay, here, listen. Here. Hrishikesh Mohan Dravada.
Did you have a stroke in the middle of that?
No, those were all letters, I swear.
You finally killed Jimmy, everybody. You did it. That name broke him.
Mathieu de Merme.
His tongue fell out. It's over.
Yeah. Robin with no last name. Carrie Cribb. Jason Lonagro. Final Sin. Sarah Svaboda. What the fuck? Yes. Wayne Moyer, Kickstand with no last name. Laura Haddock, Christina with no last name. Georgia Bokow, Seth Miller, Stephen Sparks, Aiden Lovely, Kirsten Losum, Charles Rivera Jr. You're doing great, Jimmy. John McCarthy. Somebody wrote that.
Well, see, you needed the encouragement, and they knew it. Good for them. True.
Eduardo Villanueva, William Lepkowski, Michael Roberts, Elin Engelbert Stoder.
Wow, that's a handful there.
I got to work harder at this. Lexi Bean, Allison Carbaugh, Crystal Witt, Taylor Lemaster, Stephanie Utter, Monica Thornberg, Tom Jones, Ambrali Drew, Sherry Sandoval, Lori Donegan, Margarita Dixon, Vinny Caputo, Fa Nate.
Did you say Vinny Caputo?
I did.
I have an uncle named Vinny Caputo. It's pretty funny. I don't think it's him, but I have an uncle named Vinny Caputo. Shockingly.
I imagine
that's surprising to everybody?
Italian one.
Is that surprising that I have an uncle named Vinny Caputo? Should surprise no one.
Jacob Gibson, Raymond
Ramon Ponce, Daniel Lawson, Marie Spalding, Vox Payne, Andrew Steffen, Sunlit, Jimmy Feeney, Nicolette Keaveney, DZ Hart ND. I don't know what that is. Catherine Callahan.
Some guy. I saw MD at the end.
No, ND, not MD, N, like North Dakota.
I thought you said MD. I was like, that's a doctor, man. That person's a medical professional, sir.
I don't know what the fuck that is. Joe Yagiello, Tel Ray Sherman, Colby Roberts, Jess Perrondo, Ashley Thielman, Nate Sumter, Jamone with no last name, or Jamin, Christina Philippe, Jonathan Goldsmith, sure. Holden Smith, Eric Kohler, Jennifer Quintana, yes, Mike's Big Banana, Tyler Lamb, Chloe with no last name, Nick Howard, Bridger Fate, I think, I'm never going to know. Kat Evoli, Ivoli, Karen O'Donnell, Ryan Licio, Real Fake Person, Jeff Crowder, Monica Silva, Ren Jager, Ryder Beckard, what is this? Is that Amanda? And I put a comma? Anda Cipollini? Cipollini?
This is what Jimmy sounds like in an Italian restaurant. I'll have the
Cipollini.
I'll have the Cipollini. Scusi, sir. Scusi, signore.
It's so embarrassing. Gustavo Pinedo, Audrey Martinuzzi, Brandon with no last name, Sandra Lemansky, Ingborg Slinning, Emma Grace, Aaron Schaus, Tim Kunkelman, Stephanie Quinto, Frog Pond Farm, Vanessa Hagler, Mark Lampier, Zach Pennington, Steve Zacharanda, Don Dickinson, Ricky Elaine, is that Ricky? I don't know. So. Jimmy Hall, Madison with no last name, Mike Brown, Francesca and her asshole but not a scumbag boyfriend Sebastian celebrated their 6th Valentine's Day. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Raul Perez, Ashley Vieira, Carrie Ann Ray, Blair Turk, Cameron Henkel, Melissa Schmidt, Joe Reynolds, Maverick Morales, Ashley Lehrer. Oh boy, Rebecca McVeigh, Travis Masservey. Is that real?
Travis Masservey.
I
probably
think
does.
So. Michael Beach, Amanda Maxzulska, Drew Bittner, Robin with no last name, Julia Barth, James Scott, Russell Jansen, Chris Sloan Alexis Nielsen, Alyssa Bruce, Andrew Mullen, Brandy, nope, that's Brittany, Megs, Amanda, nope, that's Amber, nope, Amber Hatley, Jen Casey. Kayla Kless, Demi Lemary, Caitlin Barkley, Halio Slootman, nope, Krista May Carver, and Chastity Orick, Chris Brown, hope you stop beating women,
please
Cody
stop.
Bell, Andy B, Luis Rosalie, oh boy, Lewis Rosalie, Michael Simmons, Slater Von Essen, Laura Stevens, Zach Chisda. Oh boy. Jessica Fletcher, Chelsea Rush, Michael Gooden, John Knickerbockler, Brian Connolly, Jess Coulter, Chris Karen, Kathy Riley, Christian Rozier, Kayla Conley, Joe KW, Candace McCord, Summer with no last name, Maynard Linder, yep, Tiffany Snook, Paul Broussard, Bella O'Neill, Abby Artley, Samantha Harris, Catherine Harrison, Sarah Chapman, Keegan Noop, Michael Trepsick, tripped me up, Gavin Cook, Robert Schwartz, Spencer Townsend, Richard Matthews, Chelsea Craig, Theo Anderson, Riley Shuck, Sasha Anderson, Dennis Magia, Erica Copeland, Mitchell Alexin, Jamie Kwiatkowski.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Good job.
Michael Oliver, Amy Dalton, Stephanie with no last name, Yori Johnson, Robert Hamp, Joe with no last name, Matthew Radke, Caitlin Farrow, Amy Sendejas,
hey.
Casey Tackett, Ryan Engroff, Connor Heffernan, Dale Ashburn, Mark H., Monica Roden, Kyle with no last name, AJ Jaquise, Dexter Wargren, Tiki Thornton, Josh Rhodes, Jennifer Schaefer, Aaron Steffens, Aaron Robb or Rabe. Oh boy. Sebastian Carlson, Jake. Nope, that's Jason Baker, Genevieve Harris, Jessica with no last name, Dan Carnes, Tyler Rizzovato, Darren Ware, Ronnie Bailey, Meredith with no last name, Zach Clerk, Kotsim Wang.
Whoa.
Haley Sell, Thomas Deering, Declan Wallard, Twyla C. Joe Carison, oh boy, Jonathan and Michelle Cooper, Jay Dice 83, and Amanda Lupus, and all of our patrons. You guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. We can't do it without you.
Thank you, everybody, so much, honestly. We cannot do any of this without you, and we just appreciate the shit out of everything you do for us. So just thank you so much. What if they wanted to get a hold of you and thank you?
You know where we're at. There's enough
you know where
Twitter handles and Instagram. There's plenty of people.
You know how to find
You don't need
people
to
on the
follow
internet.
me.
Well,
but if you do, you know where I'm at. You'll find it.
Yeah, Google search people. And
that all shows up.
These are Jimmy James, Small Town Murder. They'll pop up.
Every one of them.
It'll all pop up. And that's the same thing for me. You can find me on there, too. So we just want to thank you for everything you do for us. And
this one was crazy.
Everything. Yeah, we had so much fun doing this. We hope you had a lot of fun as well. And hope everybody's not as mad as the Getters family is out there. I totally understand where they're coming from. But
Jay is pissed.
It's a tough way to live that, though, to let that eat you up.
Good for you,
inside.
Jay, for hanging on to it and fighting to the end. That's great.
Gotta do it.
I love it.
That's what he wants to do. He can do it. So, I think it's time to... that time again and decompress. Thank you again, everybody. And until next week, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus